We helped him to the afterlife.
By Irish power bombing him into a solid wood floor.
That's not my fault. Chuck did that one. I just suggested we killed him.
Chuck made that man have the consistency of strawberry preserves.
You don't have to justify it to me. The gods saw what the gods saw. I mean...
We had a problem, and now we don't. That's all that matters.
And there was definitely not a potato peeler involved.
Well, there was. It was just less scary than other things going on.
Besides you flaying a man, and then promptly taking his shiz, you also managed to clear out a cave of some dangerous oozes. Including one that had no chance of doing this actually really cool thing, but you managed to get rid of it anyway.
What?
Like, none of those are going to show up on the property.
What property? Because as we return to the story, you are now outside a very moderately sized bonfire that smells reminiscent of human.
Kumbaya.
Stop singing. It's time to go.
Yep, and you can even see the second floor is now beginning to crumble in on itself.
Yep, time to leave.
Onward, I guess.
I've got to practice my forgery. Someone else want to drive the cart? No.
I'll drive the cart.
Start practicing how to write farmer and put the deed in our
He was illiterate. He wrote an X.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to take a look at the deed. Does it have his signature as the new owner?
Actually, no. It looks like his name was actually imprinted in with like a printing press. As if this was some sort of mass-produced flyer that was then engraved in later.
Would anyone really question if we just started living there?
His neighbors.
The neighbors.
Because I can already tell you, the fire can be seen for miles.
Yeah, we're leaving.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
So, do we need to kill the neighbors then?
I thought he killed his neighbors.
No, he killed his farmhands.
Ah, so we just need to tell them that he killed himself after he had killed his farmhands.
You technically didn't question him after he said killing people.
No, the story we're going with, if you'll remember, is his farmhands were all disappearing. By the time we got there, they were all gone. He pointed us to some suspicious areas in caves. We went in there, killed the oozes that were kidnapping all the farmhands. Came back, told them all his farmhands were dead because they got eaten by oozes. It was too much for him to take, so he gave us the deed as a reward, and then as we were leaving, he apparently killed himself and his wife and burned down their house. But we wouldn't know they killed themselves, so all we know is he burned down his house.
Should we put up a missing poster for him?
Do we care enough? We're adventurers. We got our loot. Do we have to care? Do we need to pretend to have sympathy for this individual in order to garner less suspicion?
I just want a private bedroom.
We'd have to pay to have a new house built.
Well, we're not going to live in the ashes.
But it has such a wonderful view as the morning sun has now officially risen. The roosters are now going back into their normal routines, and you swear you can see little pockets of light coming from all across the farmlands.
Little pockets of light?
Like, torchlight.
Oh, like people coming to check. I told you we were leaving! I already said we were leaving!
Yeah, no, we're driving. We're just kind of like going along at the leisurely stride. We don't know what's going on there. We think that's a brush fire. Like someone burning leaves.
That's over there's problem.
Yeah, or it's a tobacco farm.
It's a bright orange inferno!
Tobacco is burned in barns. Maybe this one just got out of hand.
A, there was no barn. In fact, there was a specific lack of livestock, and B. Fine, you're gone.
So, as we were walking by, do these look like people just going out for their normal days, or is this ye old fire department?
Do you stick around to find out?
We are currently walking away in a cart that is rolling away, thereby increasing our speed.
Yeah. Well,
Don't look suspiciously leaving, like we're not in a hurry.
We're doing a slow motion walk away from the explosion, not looking back. In a cart.
Except
Yeah,
you
we don't
stared
wanna
at it for a
rush
few
you.
minutes when you went back to steal some fucking jelly.
Hey, this jelly's really good, and I munch on some jelly. I also stole this spoon.
Okay, who are you arguing with? No one here said the jelly wasn't good.
God.
Which one? Most of them are
Which one?
frowning on you.
All of them. I'm looking at you, Thor.
Oh, don't have me put Odin in this. But yeah, as you're traveling down the road is actually along the outside of the farmlands. So you wouldn't actually pass near any other homes for the next few miles. So you don't really get
That's
a
good.
chance to see these small torches of light as they approach the now raging inferno that you seem to have laid claim to.
That's good.
Alright.
Can't believe that guy committed suicide by fire.
It's
And-
also super weird that he decided to suicide his wife and then chop off her head and put it in a barrel of water. That's so weird.
And
You know,
obliterate
some
his
people-
own skull on the floor and open his own safe.
You know, some people just aren't cut out for the for being their own boss. Stress can get to them, and they start doing crazy things like beating their head up against the ground until it implodes, emptying out their safe, getting really, you know, it's the 7 stages of grief: bargaining, torment, sadness, imploding head, and forgiveness.
Yeah. Now that we actually put some thought to it, if anyone actually investigates the ashes, things are not going to add up.
What part of this civilization has shown you that the police force are actively willing to investigate things that don't involve aristocracy?
They might if it involves a farm that apparently supplies half of the crops for the city.
Oh,
Ah,
no,
no, that's
the
just everybody.
farmlands. There are dozens upon dozens of farmlands.
And this guy supplied explosive flowers.
Does he supply explosive flowers?
Yep.
I still don't know what his crop is.
Flowers.
I smoked his flowers. I didn't blow up.
We saw flowers, so I'm gonna go with flowers.
Yeah, you do. And heading home for the next 3 days, you do cross several more fields of these light purple flowers, just end to end.
So did he give us a reward?
You killed him!
Give us a reward. No, you didn't.
You know what? Fine. Armax D12 now.
What? What is this?
Oh wait, no, you have to roll 2d12. Sorry,
What are these 2d12?
you don't know.
Is this to determine if I'm guilty?
All right, pick which one you want. The 7 or the 10.
Which one's better, lower or higher?
The
My
7
vote,
or
yes.
which do you guys think? 7 or 10? Door number 1 or door number 2? I'm gonna go with 7.
All right. Your journey home is relatively boring and uneventful.
Woo!
Woo! Until
Nope, you make it back to the city all in one piece.
Awesome.
I mean, well, one piece being relative. as Chuck is still poisoned to all hell.
Oh yeah, we should probably go to the healing waters of things to
you take
fix
him
that.
to the healing waters, and I am gonna go see the Duchess.
If I remember correctly, Armax, Unit, and Chuck all had their HP lowered.
Yep, by 1 point.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to need to look into that. Chuck had it worse, as each day he was continually getting worse and worse with his poison. With every coming morning, it seems the wound has grown larger and far more infected. He actually now leaves a trail of a similar green slime to that beetle that you had dispatched.
Oh,
Chuck, I told you stop picking at that.
He's currently spending his time keeping it in.
Can the healing waters do anything about it? Or do we have to find like a temple?
Let's
Well-
go ask.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if we show it to them, they'll probably, tell you, oh yeah, this is, you've got ultra poison. You need to go to 5th Street.
Whatever we do, we probably should not go to the Shrine of Integrity.
Well, the Shrine of Integrity is the actual local chapel.
Yeah, let's not go in there.
Yeah, they might
Armax
notice all the murder.
is familiar with it. That's where you went to meet with the Furbog to talk about your condition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they're cool.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Just
I
don't
had
mention
to-
where we got this cabin.
We didn't get a cabin.
It's some assembly required.
Chuck said he was gonna build us a house.
That's true. Okay. First, let's drop him off at the ethereal water.
Yeah, we go and I take him up to the front desk and ring the bell.
alright. Well, the same silver-haired woman that you've seen time and time again greets you and gives an offer bows. And what can we help you with?
You do poison? Because he's poison. Points to Chuck.
Oh.
Like, he's literally poisoned. Not as if his character is a poison in our group, as far as co-working relationship.
I figured as much. Typically, that acronym is saved for NITR.
Oh.
As for any sort of deep-seated infection, that's really not our forte. Though we could offer aid in a pinch, at the time, it would be best spent otherwise. The Shrine of Integrity is now fully operational again, after we had helped its clerics. Best to try there?
Sure,
Yeah.
but
Can do! Alright, let's go get Chuck to the hospital.
wait, before we can I get an appointment for a spa treatment later?
I will see
Oh,
to
yeah.
it that there is a spot for you.
Thank you.
Come along, Chuck.
Chuck now actually hobbling as he coughs up his 7th cough of blood.
Chuck, I told you to stop that.
Chuck, we keep telling you to stop doing this, but you keep doing it.
Without the words to express himself, he flexes to show his strength, and you can see right through his resolve. He's clearly trying to put up a good face.
Oh god, he looks like a seasick person trying to fist fight.
Still has some
To the,
cough up the blood left in his inventory. So he's good.
He didn't need all that blood. Alright, let's go to church.
Alright. Yeah, I actually get to introduce this place. Entering into the Shrine of Integrity, the first thing you notice is that there is no door. And in fact, it is just an open series of pews. Lining each of the walls are stained glass windows, and next to each is a different statue to a different god. Most of the ones that you've probably heard of, like Cord, Ioun, the Raven Queen. Essentially all of the major sort of dominant religions that you've seen in Tarim seem to be popular as here. Though currently it is fairly sparse, with only so many individuals here. Some praying, some giving offering. More than a few seem to be just here, just sort of looking at the statues. over on the opposite end, you do see a large traditional altar, and there's a small sort of slightly haggard-looking individual with tattered vestibules on that currently seems to be polishing the altar.
I walk up and I tap him on the shoulder.
Oh, hello! And Armax, this is the same individual you met the last time you were here. The haggard individual now appears to be a fairly furry, though not terribly short, humanoid figure with a large button mushroom red nose and sort of scraggly hair with kind of spotchy green skin. A furbog, if by any other definition. Looking to you, he still has that same sort of dumb smirk with his incredibly holy grin, meaning he only has about 5 teeth in his head. Hello, Birdman. What can we do?
Can you cure people of deadly poisons?
We can try.
Oh, that's not a thing to hear from a doctor. Are you a doctor?
Nope. Cleric.
Alright, then we're not paying you, but keep going.
What do you mean keep going?
I point at the seeping wound.
Ooh. Okay. And he just sort of like hobbles over and without any sort of care or concern, he just takes out a small blade he had in his hidden in his sleeve and just cuts the gash. Cuts the wrappings you have on Chuck's wounds, and it just immediately starts pooling this green slime onto the floor. The once tattered but still functioning carpet now appears to sizzle as each breath Chuck takes seems to pulse out more of this ichor green stuff. Ooh. I've seen this once before. He was a good man.
Did he die of something not related to his wound?
Oh, no, he's fine. He's just a woman now.
I'm going to drink now, and you're going to cure this.
Okay. I think I can do this, but it will take time. And it will require a small donation to the church, as this will take up the time that I would spend keeping it happy.
The church needs to be happy?
The church needs to be cleaned.
So we need to pay you to heal our friend.
We can pay you in feather dusting.
No, we actually have money.
Gold is preferable. You cannot buy candles with dusting. I have tried. It will not take much, just a small donation. For this,
Okay, how much?
to cover the rosemary and gypsum weed we need, it would be about 300 gold pieces.
How much we got?
Have enough. Do we think Chuck is worth 300 gold pieces?
Chuck beat a gelatinous cube to death with his bare hands while poisoned.
It was a CR2. Come on.
And then he punched brass knuckles into jelly.
Yeah, alright, we'll keep this one.
Oh, and he didn't blow up a pile of corpses.
That was actually a good thing.
Could have learned something about those corpses.
Ooh, dead people have such fun things to say. Unless they were bad people. In which case they say very nasty things.
Your parents drank a lot when you were born, right?
Nope.
Oh,
So
just
I'm gonna
give him
give him 300 gold.
Okay. He just sort of like hands out in the palm and you put it to him. He doesn't count it at all. He just puts it into his pocket and starts escorting Chuck to the back.
Wait. I think included with that we should get be able to fix what's wrong with us two, right?
Is there something wrong?
I don't feel 100%.
Oh, okay. I can take a look. Looking is always free. That's what Scabro tells me. Right, he's gonna like start going over you guys, and he's gonna point out a few wounds that you're probably familiar with. A couple of blasts from Dr. Ogre, a couple of piercings from your interaction with Furbogs. He does take notice of a bite on a bite mark on the back of Yanit's neck, and the now pulsing purple bruise on Aramax's hip. Ooh. I do not like dispas. Dispas are always so nasty. Leave bad wounds.
What is a dispa?
Oh, it is a ooze. It is an ooze that mimics things. It's like a mimic, but oozy. It likes to feed on things that don't know it's there. Feed until they're dead.
That's just downright horrifying.
Yep.
Can you fix it?
Sounds pretty normal in my line of work, but alright.
Oh, this. Good clean living could cure itself. If you want it done now, it will require a little more. We'll need more gypsum weed.
What'll the collective cost of the healing cost?
With what I need for your friend, another 50 gold for the both of you. Total.
Alright. You want to shell out the 50 gold to fix everything?
What if I said we only had 30 more?
But we don't only have 30 more, so... I mean...
No, don't worry. He's just complete. He completely went over his head. It was just like,
A moth is flying somewhere.
I would love to do that. In fact, I came here to help everyone for free. But that's when we ran out of gypsum weed, and now I can't.
I offer him 30 gold and the lump of flail snail.
Oh, hold on. Oh, the sailed quail of flail snail trail.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
Alright, you pull it out, and pulling it out is interesting, as it is now hardened into what can only be described as if a booger had a booger, and then that got crusty. And holding it out to me, just like, ooh, I don't know what this is, but I don't think I can trade it for gypsum weed. I am sorry.
I try to look really big and scary and tell him this is what you're going to take.
I back away.
He might literally... I go ahead and take it back. He might actually just take it and then still not get the thing to heal you. I don't think you quite understand. He cannot obtain the plant required to heal your wounds without the money.
He's got it. He's just trying to rip us off.
Hey, you can roll an insight check and try to find out.
Somebody with wisdom insight check.
I don't have any wisdom, but I'll insight.
Armax, as you spend hours with this individual before, you already know that this guy does not have the ability to lie. He is naive to the point of being almost destructive.
Yeah, that's
Bran?
what I thought.
This dude's a child. He's just a 5-foot-tall 7-year-old. Like, the childlike innocence in his eyes, and just these sort of like ways of like hopping back on his feet, just sort of looking back at everyone talking. There is nothing malice to this creature. Like, I mean, he may not...
Possibly the most innocent individual that I have ever met.
He's definitely up there. Definitely innocent for this age range.
Yeah, can I just give him like a really big hug?
Like, I don't know how to describe it, but this man, his favorite book is the Giant Jam Sandwich. He's not gonna deceive you.
Wait, give him jam.
No, it's
He
my jam.
still can't. But don't. Okay, you know what?
I just immediately give him the $50.
Are you pulling it out of your deal?
No, I'm pulling it out of your pocket.
Okay, I'll subtract it from my my thing then.
Oh, okay. I go get the weed and I come right back. You can wait in the back room. It will only take a minute. And he just sort of like starts skipping out.
I'll give you first dibs on treasure later.
Okay, since I kind of already run the party. Matt, so how I'm working this, whenever you post treasure, I put it in my party supplies sheet.
So do
And
I.
so whenever we're paying for something for the group, I'm just subtracting the equivalent amount from the things because you said that you basically assume that we sell those things for money.
Well, before it was because it was just you had the free time. The stuff that you recently got, you haven't tried to sell yet, so it's still goods as it turns out. But it would not be difficult to sell anything under 100 gold. You can find someone to sell for full price.
Okay. That's,
I put all the stuff in the bag of holding, which I've been writing down. Because I have the bag of holding, so I thought I was going to carry everything.
Yeah, no, I'm totally cool with making you the de facto banker.
who's the de facto banker?
Who's the de facto banker?
Well, Unit's got the actual bag of holding. Well, he's got two bag of holding.
Do you want to be the de facto banker?
Writing it down on my notes.
All right. Well, then I need you to subtract 150 gold from the equivalent worth without subtracting everything that we recently got last session.
That's what I was doing. I just didn't want you to like have it double written. But you found the last set of gems that you found. Those were not part of my. I haven't written those down.
I got that crap from the backpack.
There were some. The last set of gems we got were not the ones that I've got in the bag.
Oh, the ones I got from Dr. Ogre?
I don't remember who was from.
I want to say most of those have been traded in already.
Yeah, I thought those had been traded.
No, it was just before we left. The big cave.
So confused.
We found two different sets of gems. Two different hordes. It was the big horde, and then we found one after that.
Are you talking about the, like, I've just got some random crap down here. It's like, some moonstone and some onyx and quartz and star rose quartz.
Oh, the stuff, there's the stuff from the warehouse, which you didn't sell, and then the stuff you got from the ooze cave.
Yeah, I've got the stuff in the warehouse right now. I don't have anything from the cave. There were some gems in the cave.
Oh, hold on a second. This is from my notes.
Yeah, I have the stuff from the warehouse was different Chalcedony. Cryopraise, moonstones, sardonyx, star rose quartz.
Yep, that's what I got.
But those were a different set.
No, those are what we most recently got.
No, from the warehouse. I've got all this stuff. That has different stuff listed from the cave. We got two different sets of gems.
He is right.
So we have the stuff in my bag plus what you just put down. Because what we got from the warehouse was 2,065 copper pieces, 600 silver pieces, 80 gold pieces.
Right.
One Chalcedony, one praise, one moonstone, one sardonyx, one star rose quartz, two zircons.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just.
That is what you just got in the ooze cave.
This is what I have got in my notes in total.
Yeah, stuff you have in your notes. Yeah, see, there's two different lists. that first set I put in the bag. That's what I've got. After the claw, with the claws and the teeth. After that is what we got in the cave. So we fought the dino before we went in the cave, didn't we?
Right. The
Yep.
dino was before the cave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I put all the dino stuff in my notes, and all the gems before that, but I did not put the where it starts with 100 gold, Jocelyn, citrine, jasper, moonstone,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
So that's what we got.
Okay.
That's
I
the
will-
cave stuff.
I've added a new handout just so we can be clear. I've added a bag of holding.
Well, I've been.
And currently, the only person who can edit it is Yannette, but everyone can see it.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fair with this.
Alright.
Cool,
I'm
cool,
just gonna
cool.
copy my stuff and your stuff, the last half of your stuff into it.
Okay.
Well, now that you're in town, you can pretty much just sell all that with some given time.
Right. But for now, he's got to subtract 150 gold's worth from what we got from the warehouse, I would say.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Alright. And while that's going on, the furbog does come back after a few minutes, carrying with him an actual basket of this really stinking looking weed that kind of looks like rotten ginger. And he just sort of motions you all into the bag, and he actually prepares a proper ritual for each of you. Actually digging out some of like these little pincers that were still in your bite marks for Unit and Armax, and draining the pus out of Chuck. And for you guys, he does use a lesser restoration spell to restore your hit points back to where they were before they were drained. The whole process takes about an hour and a half. Chuck is unfortunately going to have to remain here for a while.
What?
Who would have thought that being stabbed by what can only be described as John Carpenter's The Thing would have had more serious infection?
Well, while this is going on, he basically says, skittering hosts are dangerous. They can infest anything and make it their body. If you don't cure it in time, it kills you and then eats you.
Oh.
So it is the thing.
They're not good at disguising.
So it's a really stupid thing.
I don't think it's a furbog.
Well, while this conversation is just
Scintillating. You just keep that thought in your head. We're gonna back out of this building very slowly.
Okay, I will look after your friend.
Thank you.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yup, let's sleep.
So do you want me
Okay.
to just convert all these gems into gold and say we sold them here?
Yeah, well,
Or do we need these gems?
I mean, do you want? I don't think we need. None of us are spellcasters, except for. I mean, do you have a focus, Armax?
yeah, I got an arcane focus.
Then
It's just some fucked up rebar. Magical fucked up rebar.
we haven't really been focusing on components at all, so I don't think.
Yeah, no, it's. Yeah, I will not. I will not miss any of these things disappearing into money.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I'll just gems.
Okay.
converting is fairly easy. There's more than a few jewelers and armor smiths who will gladly buy up most of these.
Okay. So now we to figure out what to farm.
Is there a Saul Goodman around here?
He's behind your other eye.
I
At the
turn
moment,
around
I'm going
and
to
go
say
where?
no. Right.
Wait, if I'm missing an eye, does that make me Gus? Anyways,
let's just go to the palace and see who we need to talk to about having transfer.
all right, yeah, let's go get this deed transferred.
Alright, here we go. Alright, so you make a all too familiar 15-minute trek up a long series of stairs. Though now there is something significantly different, as they've officially started repairing everything. With the chaos now settled down, they're starting to put back up pillars, reset different sort of sconces. There's fewer cracks in it, and getting up into the keep itself, it does actually start to look nice. There's legitimate guardsmen walking around, some new faces, some old faces.
Hey, guys, check it out. That fountain's not supposed to be sideways. Did you know that?
Or is it objet art?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh god, this is a conundrum.
I am not the individual you need to speak to about whether or not something's art.
Alright.
You could always roll insight on it. I think this is an autumn piece. So I guess we'll just kind of scoot along past the construction and oh no, yep, no, it's definitely wrong.
See, I was actually going to say, like, this would actually be more a general intelligence check.
Oh no!
Because it's less you're trying to gauging what the art's trying to do would be insight, but gauging if what the art is intelligence. I mean,
Art expert Armax.
I mean, it's really good structural art.
Oh, are we looking at art? Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a Norman style fountain.
I see it now.
I mean, looking at it, it is a standard water fountain spewing out water, though it does appear to have a very familiar marking. The top part of it, at the tip of the fountain, is another one of the flowers that you've seen repeatedly all across the land.
I'm starting to think this flower is very important.
With a natural 20, I will give Aromax this. There's definitely a motif around this foliage.
Nice.
That, friends, is how you get a girlfriend.
All right. Now, with our knowledge of the importance of flowers, let's go to the county clerk's office.
See, it's funny you say that, because entering into the keep, you're immediately barred from going further in than you'd expect. Essentially, the inner sanctums are completely blocked off.
I asked one of the guards how to get to the county clerk's office.
Oh, down the hall on the right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Look for
There
the
you
room that actually still has a door.
Well, obviously they're not going to raid the county clerk's office. What, are they going to destroy the city with zoning laws?
No, they just had the money to buy theirs first.
Bastards. Taking our taxes and rebuilding this city.
Yes, jokes. I understand them.
Okay,
I'll
now,
explain later.
now that I've done all the math and everything, so, is my health back to normal?
Yes.
Okay, we had to leave Chuck.
Chuck will have to undergo some deeper curing. Because he not only got hit with the Dispa knuckles, he also got skittering oozed.
Gross. Okay.
I love shit like that.
I mean,
Let's
the price of being a tank.
Go open the door. Hello?
Hello there.
Alright. Entering in, you see a fairly modest-looking, almost kind of talent agency-looking room. It has glass windows behind it. It's got these shelves of bookcases around, and there's just a single halfling, just sitting in a chair, just like taking more notes. He sometimes pulls out this stamp and stamps several different papers, puts them away, just busily at his job, and just like waves you in with his offhand.
Greetings. I'm Brand the Blood Hunter. This is Unit the Sword Caller, and this is Amarant the Sorcerer. We have badges.
He cocks an eye up at you, doesn't stop what he's doing, and then goes back to it.
Yes, good. So we have some paperwork here, and I just walk up to his desk and lay the deed down on the most clear part of the desk.
All right. The second it hits the floor, the second it hits the table, he immediately takes it up, looks at it, and just hands it back to you, saying, "It's legitimate."
So we own this now?
Nope. That belongs to Hedrix.
Yeah. Said he gave it to us.
He stops. Okay. And?
So why would he give us this if it holds no value?
Because he didn't like you?
So do we have to file anything or like write our names down or something to make it all official with the county?
He needs to sign it off to you. You need to fulfill a assignment of taking over the property.
That might be some trouble.
Why is that?
He may have committed suicide.
Alright, next of kin then.
That may be a problem. He may have fed his next of kin to a ooze monster
Always knew that boy was trouble.
in the hopes that it would make a better harvest season.
Yeah, that desperate moron would do something like that. Alright. If there currently is no current owner, then it is up for sale.
Can we have it?
How much is it?
Don't know. Has to be assessed.
Okay. Do we need to leave this here with you until it is assessed?
Doesn't matter. We have triplicates. That's
Okay.
honestly useless unless you have the proper paperwork. If you want to, if you want to fill out a transfer of ownership in order to be entered into the sale, you can fill it in over there. And it just points to a very childlike task that's just tucked into the corner. Like it would be small even for him.
I'm gonna go fill out the transfer of ownership in order for us to be registered into the sale.
Right, going through the very moderate scroll shelf, you do look around and there's just a whole bunch of stuff labeled just like, marriage licenses, animalistic ownership license, apothecary licenses, just forms upon forms of just random stuff that you need to have filled out in duplicate, triplicate, and quadruplicate. And what?
Go ahead.
Well, and after about a good 3 or 4 minutes, you do actually find at the very bottom a transfer of ownership form. Well, scroll. You unfold it, and it has a lot of technical jargon. Like, there's a lot of, these and thous, first parties, second parties, other parties, after parties, that kind of thing.
The after party.
Basically. The things that catch your eye first off is there needs to be a down payment equal to half of the worth of the property in order to be entered into the sale. And that has to be given up front as a sort of collateral. The second noticeable factor is you need to provide proof of citizenship to Portcullis.
I don't know how much value the badge actually holds in technical jargon.
I can tell you for a fact that you do not see any mention of it at all. In fact, it is fairly devoid of any sort of humanizing features. It is very clinical and dry.
Oh, as for that land being assessed, we should probably mention that a grisly murder took place on it, so there's probably ghosts.
We might also need to mention that the land is dying unless you perform human sacrifices to a group of oozes in a set of caves that are no longer.
Oh, and he might have been a pedophile.
Do you say this out loud?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
With it.
Like, once again, without missing a beat, he just pulls out an empty scroll from underneath his desk and just starts, like, writing down a couple notes that you're saying. Like, not paying any mind to it, he's just writing down your facts as you state them.
Two more questions before we leave you alone to the rest of your business. The first question is, where can we find the technical writing of empowerment for the badges that we currently carry so that we know the actual bounds of our authority?
Currently, there is none. Those badges didn't exist till about a year ago. They're not added into any sort of system. You want to find out, ask somebody older, or ask somebody who gave it to you. Not my department.
Okay. Second question. What is the city flower and what does it do?
Oh, you asked this guy this. Alright. Once again, without stopping a beat, he just sort of, in a quick and action tone, saying, Amaranth. They're what most of our food are growing on. First thing we discovered when we got here. If you eat bread, you've tasted amaranth. Court was named after it.
Okay, that's oddly sustaining, I suppose. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else?
You?
Where's it come from?
Was here when we got here. Only thing that grows in the cold.
Did you not hear him? Okay.
No, I mean, like, did they find it just growing where it's growing, or did it, like, they find it somewhere specific?
Nope, just was here.
Any other questions?
Where'd you learn to small talk so well?
I actually think he's good at it.
There's a momentary pause. He stares up at you and says, none of your damn business. He just goes back to his work. Again, filling out more and more forms. And at the tail end of this conversation, he actually does pull out a sort of moderately sized metal machine, lays onto this with a loud slam, and actually begins stamping letters into different forms that he's been filling out.
Well, I say we leave to the business. You seem rather enamored by it.
I say we find another bounty that's not a horrific murderer.
I really like this halfling guy.
I thought you'd like the furbog.
Yes. Yes, you would.
He's probably the easiest that I have spoken to in the entire city.
But you can write him a very formal letter.
I might do that. No, that would take up his time. He wouldn't appreciate that, and I appreciate that. Okay.
All right, let's go tell the people that their crop is doomed.
We go back to
Well, okay.
the guards.
Okay, I just have to clarify. He had one farm of land. You passed hundreds on your way here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go back to the guards guarding the inner sanctum.
All right. They're still there and just like not aggressively, but just making sure this door isn't
Greetings.
open.
I'm Bran the Blood Hunter. This is Unit the Sword Caller. And that's Aromax the Sorcerer. We have badges.
Okay. Is there something we can help you with?
We need to speak to the Duchess to find out about our badges.
Also, this shipping manifest. Do you know where this is heading?
What?
You know they're guards, right?
Like
Guards know their way around town.
Like he starts taking a look at it, just like, this is for the warehouse district. It's for processing. As for the Duchess, unfortunately, she is indisposed, as well as the Duke. They are currently working on keeping the city safe. If you have an inquiry, we'd be willing to pass it on.
We are also currently working on keeping this city safe. If we cannot ask them, is there some sort of hall of records?
Those things have always been tentament at best, but I'll tell you what. The next time I see somebody, I'll ask them and I'll make sure to send it your way. I got your name, I know where to send it.
Yeah, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
As you were.
All right. By the way, you want to go hit up that where that jelly guy said there might be a reward for us?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Chili guy?
There was that guy who gave us the who we saved from the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name. Damn it.
Loot generator!
No, that's what you think. Alright. So
There.
Yeah, let's see if we can find that guy.
I think we can. He gave us a thing.
Give us a thing.
he gave you a copy of his shipping manifest.
Oh, right, that thing.
Yeah. The guy you tried to steal a jar of jam from.
Me? It wasn't.
He took it out of your hands.
It was the work.
As much as he was grateful that you saved him from dying a horrible death, you will not take his manifest. That
He
is
gave you the
employee-
manifest. He just didn't want you to take his product.
That is employee number 1 right there. He should get like a reward.
Okay, we're going to the warehouse district to look for our jelly man.
Yes. Why am I imagining the choo-choo salesman from Zelda?
Okay. Well, the first thing you realize is going up to the warehouse district, which takes you a couple hours to walk from up in the castle to down here. Getting there is a not so much a panic, but there's a restructuring. There's many individuals just moving barrels and boxes all around. It's like everything's being moved. And the front end gate that you had asked to come into is now just permanently open, and there's just 4 people there just reading off charts, looking at what's coming in, what's going out. Just it looks like a proper stockyard now.
Good.
Yeah. I wonder if that has anything to do with that blockade being gone.
Oh, did the blockade leave?
Yeah, they left.
Well, that's awfully kind, I suppose.
That left 3 weeks ago.
I don't
Where
know.
does the time fly? Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll find an available person and ask him where this manifest location is.
Alright, you... Hold on, I just gotta do this.
Do what?
The first available person you can see is a sort of scrawny-looking guard. Little shaky in the knees. And the second you walk up to him, he immediately just has the mild panic attack that you're also familiar with, as he now takes out what looks to be a piece of like sap, and just starts chewing on it furiously.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me where this location is?
Okay. Just sort of looks at it, it's like, oh, this isn't for here. This is directed to the buyer.
Can you point us to the buyer?
Yeah, it's Marvin's Castle of Cauldron Cakes. It's down by the east. It's down by the east.
Okay.
Alright, you have a wonderful day, strange man.
I just like takes another piece of gum and just like another piece of like sap and just starts chewing on it. And as you're walking away, another guard just walks by. It just sort of looks at him, looks at you guys like, oh hell, not again. Just like spit it out, spit. Fuck, you gave up smoking for this. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I thought he was weird.
Well, it's nice to know that there's only 2 guards in this location.
They're the first two that were bored.
It's Joey from Metal Gear. Alright, so I guess we'll go to the Marvin's Castle of Cauldron Cakes. So do they just make really, really big cakes?
Alright.
Perhaps they are caked in a cauldron.
Well,
Maybe they're
no. Go ahead.
a cheesecake factory.
What's a cheesecake?
I just imagine somebody using the fabricate spell to make cakes, and I'm immediately amazed no one's done that before.
You know, honestly, I would be willing to shell out money for a spell just to make a pie, so that just once in a blue moon during a fight that's really easy, just hit someone in the face with a pie. There's one ogre left. Pie.
But the spell of creaming.
I hate blueberries.
My allergic reaction. Where's my EpiPen?
I'm gluten-free.
Can I go hang out with Chuck?
As you knit, a good 15-20 yards ahead of you leads the charge. It doesn't take you too long to return to almost a very familiar sight, the Eastern Gate. Though now the potholes have been filled in and the lights have been reinstalled, and it actually looks to be a very nice area. You pass by questionable confectionaries, and you can almost see the bright cauldron over on your far left side. But before you get to there, you do see a rather boisterous sign with these weird arcane, just sort of like zaps of different bright colors. It just says Marvin's Castle of Cauldron Cakes. It's a very boisterous looking building with just like accents of every type of color and wood. It stands out remarkably compared to everything else.
Okay, this person's either eccentric or crazy.
Yes.
A little bit of both.
I open the door.
Alright, opening through the double doors, and the first thing you notice is the sound of laughter is almost deafening. This entire place is just filled with food and wine and music. There's not a single frown or anything less than a smile here. There's tables that are all over the place with chairs. There's beer being served from different kegs on the walls. There's actually a corner where there's like these lights that are looking upon rotating stands that have these odd weaponry in them. And on the far side, you see what looks to be sort of like almost like I don't know what the medieval equivalent of this is, but it's like an open air kitchen with only a few support pillars instead of walls that has just these lines of cauldrons on them that are just red hot, with several people bringing in and out like different types of foods, cut fruits. You see a lot of mixed eggs, and the air is just filled with this sickeningly sweet smell.
Told you it was a cheesecake factory.
Did you say there was it was just laughter? About beer?
It is joyful in here, to say the very least.
Should I roll for PTSD for last time I was near the East Gate? Just, the whole laughter thing.
I'd say for this, no, as it's less of a forced laugh and more just like good times and merriment. You basically walked into the ideal set of cheers.
I was actually about to say cheers.
Oh yeah? What's
All
my
right.
name?
Norm.
Wait. I'm Norm? Okay, sure.
I'm Fraser. Alright, so, I go up to the, is there a bartender or a waiter or a
The-
chef or a,
the kitchen area does have a sort of set, like an equivalent to a bar with stools set up upon it. But instead of having a typical solid structure, it's a glass structure with all these different types of baked goods inside of it.
Anything really good looking?
There isn't anything here that looks awful. There's tiny cakes, there's large cakes, there's even some baked goods you've never even seen before. And in fact, looking around, the predominant thing you see is a very flat, sort of almost compressed muffin. It's very dark and brown on each side that's served stacked high.
Alright, is there a waiter nearby?
Going up to the bar, quote unquote, you don't see any other staff other than just a few women just moving around, passing out drinks, some of them even fraternizing with some of the people here. And you do see one person who's currently washing a few dishes with a whistle, with a whistle on his lips, just sort of like scrubbing methodically to the music in the background. A sort of kind of large human-looking figure, not Chuck size, not Unit size, but bigger than you would think a normal human would be. Kind of darker, almost olivey skin, with this very specific dark brown hair on his arms. But his hair is more of a sort of deep brown with these auburn streaks running through it that is pulled back into a nice little bun.
I tug on his, I get his attention and show him the manifest.
Hmm? Ah, welcome! Welcome to Marvin's Castle of Carnal Cakes. How can I help you?
Yeah, we ran into this guy who delivered some stuff to you, had apparently been attacked by a deadly Spinosaurus, and we saved his life and didn't rob him. And he gave us this to give to you.
Well, everything I ordered did come in here, so let me see. He just sort of takes a look and he's like, huh, so you are those sons of bitches who did this. Gotta say, I didn't think anyone would help some poor sap being attacked by one of them Spino-looking bastards. But I'm impressed. Everything got here as neat as it needed to be. Now, he did say I'd give you something, and far be it from a man of my stature to forgive, but excuse an old adventurer for not wanting to have a little bit of fun.
There's a fight club in the basement, isn't there?
Ah, I wish. That's only in Zakitis. And he sort of wipes his hand across the table and just, with a soft whistle, the little bits of water that are on it start floating up and dancing like ripples. And before you, you do see 4 sort of objects standing in front of you, though they are wispier in their form. Well, Marvin's got a little bit of extra gold lying around that he's more than willing to send to some adventurers, but I got some of my old gear that maybe might serve you some good. Here's my game, though. By steel, by strap, by wood, or by wonder. Pick one, and it's yours. You only get the one.
What does by wonder mean?
Is that your choice?
What?
Yeah, oh.
This is the fun.
Well, you cut out on me. What are we looking at?
Okay, repeat.
But he basically asks you, of what of the 4 things he's offering you do you want? And he says, by steel or by strap, by wood or by wonder. And before you do see what looks to be some sort of like odd-looking shield, but it's hard to tell with it evaporating. You see nothing that sort of looks like a very generic-looking armor set, just like the silhouette of it. Another one that looks like some sort of blade with a very large handle on it. And the last one is just a big question mark in a bottle.
Ooh, mystery box. Come on, let's do the mystery box.
You want to do the mystery box? I mean, do any of us really, really need armor or really, really need a new weapon? Do we know of anybody that specifically has that need right now?
It is a box of mysteries.
I mean, he's specifically being vague about it. The symbols are just sort of like to give you an idea of which way to go.
Right, and I'm asking based off the context of the ideas that I currently understand. Does anyone in our group currently need a new set of armor or a new weapon?
I mean, I just got new armor. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm not an armor guy. I have the magic stuff.
In the box of mysteries.
Mystery box.
Alright then, and he slams his hand onto the desk, and you all get splashed with water. Alright, Susan! Get the box underneath my bed! We got some poor saps who want it.
Oh my.
And after a few minutes, you do see this very plucky looking, sort of 20-odd something woman just bring down this very old, desiccated looking wooden crate that is rotted on all sides, and in it you do see 4 what look to be potion bottles. Now this is something I discovered when I was a little bit younger. Was experimenting with alchemy for a while, and it didn't suit me as well as this. But I did make a few of these, and they saved my ass more than a few times than I'd like to mention. These, and he pulls one out, and looking at it, it looks to be almost clear until you take a closer look and see that it is actually filled to the brim with some sort of ultra-pure liquid. This is a bottle of flammable gas. You hurl this thing, and it releases a mist. And that mist burns like hellfire if you ignite it. Dangerous, deadly, and great at parties. I believe it's, what was it called? It was called the Flammable Cloud spell? I don't know. I infused a whole bunch of different things in the bottles. Your friend there's either really getting into this or has got a centipede in his ass.
No, don't worry. That's just a centipede in his ass. We just came from out in the city, from out of town. I take the bottle of flammable gas.
I'm kind of into alchemy.
There's 5 of them. He's giving you the whole crate.
I'm going to hold on to this crate because I'm afraid of what he will do in this building with it.
I have one.
What are the other bottles?
They're all that.
They're all 5 bottles of flammable gas.
You have 5 bottles of what is equivalent to the flammable cloud spell.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
You can take them, man. That sounds like something that I will kill everyone with.
I mean, he basically gave you 5 canisters of fuel air bombs, so yeah, probably.
Definitely know they shouldn't go to hit.
Really? Oh yeah, no. Oh no, that'd be funny as hell. No, these things are filled to the brim. Ugh. Fucking hell, what would that do?
What would what do?
Hold on. Alright, well, while you're doing that, Marvin just sort of looks back at you and is like, oh, yeah. A little bit of extra from good old Marv. And he reaches under the table and he pulls out a small little sack, opens up his register with a Fonzie slam to the side, pulls out about a good... See, how generous is he? Yeah. About a good 20 platinum and just pours it into the sack and hands it to you.
Do you mean that these bottles have incendiary cloud in them?
That's it. That was the name.
Holy crap! Yeah, I will handle these with care. With so much care.
I recommend it. Last time I tried playing with those things, I was rocking the bald look for a while.
So don't ingest.
Basically. Now, I will tell you this. I was emulating that spell, but I didn't get close. This is basically me screwing up, but it still hurts like hell.
I understand. And out of character, you and I can go over the specific number later.
It won't be too difficult. Alright, so, since you're here, can I offer you some caramel cakes? I sell them at a reasonable price.
What would you say the best cake here is?
Oh, well, for those of a defined taste, I can only offer Marvin's breakfast, named after yours truly.
Breakfast cake?
You've never been here before, have you, mainlanders?
No.
Nope.
Ah, not to me. But, tell you what. You did me good. You made sure I had enough jam to last me the rest of the month. I'll do you a solid. If you order Marvin's breakfast, I'll give it to you at half price.
What is half price?
Well, that brings it down to 15 gold.
I am very hungry.
And you guys haven't had a chance to stop to eat since you've been in the city. Although at this point it's now roughly past lunch.
Can we try a sample?
Ah, what the hell. Why not? He just turns around and walks into the kitchen where you can see one of the cauldrons that is flipped upside down over a fire. He grabs a wooden dowel that's on a chain up above it, pulls it down, and you see this stream of sort of light tannish beige cake batter land upon the cauldron and forms to the bottom of it. After a few seconds, he gives it a swift kick at the bottom, and it jumps up, flips, and lands back on, and you can see this golden brown texture on it. Another few seconds, and he slides it onto a plate, and he cuts it just by waving his finger in front of it, cuts it into several different slices, and pulls out a plate to you. That is just the basic one, but haven't had a child complain yet. Haven't an adult dumb enough to refuse it.
I will try a bite.
Alright.
I'll just start eating.
Right. I mean,
Wait, what was I eating? What's happening?
you eat a very well-browned, sweet, sort of almost biscuity cake. Or sort of like a biscuity thing. It's about an inch thick, golden brown on each side, a little bit of pock holes everywhere. Super sweet, super delicious, and would appear to be very porous, and could probably absorb something fairly easily.
I pull out this jar of jelly I pulled from an old man's house.
Right. The second you pull it out, just like, huh. I didn't know anyone else was able to get Zapple jelly. Good on ya.
Yes, I found it in a place. I start smearing the jelly on it.
And it is hella delicious. The light numbingness of the jelly mixed with the super sweetness of the cauldron cake makes it for a very good combination. I think that would make it better is maybe a little bit of butter.
Then we add the butter.
Now, after each of you have a taste, there's not really much left. He basically gave you a sample.
I am gonna look at him and pull out 15 gold and put it on the table. I am very hungry.
Alright then. He takes you by the shoulders, spins you around, and amazingly lifts his foot onto the desk and kicks you in the ass. you start spinning as you move into the center of the room, and you land upon a chair spinning into a table. The lighting on the table focuses down upon you, and you can hear just sort of like a small klaxon go off. Somebody needs breakfast! And the rest of you can see the other 12 cauldrons that were behind him immediately become engulfed in blue and green flames as just an endless stream of batter begins pouring on each of them. And Marvin is just fighting to keep each one flipping before it burns. After about a good minute of this, watching a 40-some-odd human male keep up with what you can only imagine is some sort of arcane hellfire, he emerges with a 2-foot-tall stack of these golden brown, delicious sweet cakes. In between each one is a layer of different sort of jam or butter, and drizzled on top of it is just this sweet maple-ish syrup. Almost to the point of becoming mush, but still has such rigidity to it. It'll take you a while to eat this.
I'm okay with that. See if I can strike up some rather awkward conversation with any of the other patrons. Or at least a waitress lady who might be willing to try and talk to me.
I mean, you can start a conversation with just about anybody around. There are several other tables that are near you, and basically everyone's here just to have a good time. So even in your mildly awkward state, the people are just really nice.
Everyone here is just really nice. I lean towards Arumax. It makes me suspicious.
I become innately suspicious.
Okay.
I would like to check this suspiciousness.
Okay, how are you doing that?
Every way an overly paranoid person would.
Pick one.
I guess I'll just kind of look around.
Alright, make a perception check then.
So just kind of look around.
Nope, that's the opposite.
Alright. Bran? This feels like a really lively tavern. You get the impression that with so many sweet things being passed around and so many bright, colorful faces, this is just a really nice place to be. Armax, you notice that everyone seems to be either happy or eating. That's about it.
I go back to stuffing my face.
Is it good?
It's amazing, but if it's anything, it's just super sweet. But each layer you start digging into is another just sort of like either jam or jelly, another sort of like block of syrup, another line of like really melted thin butter. It is a stack of happiness. And by itself, it's a full meal for the lot of you. Like, if Chuck were here, you could probably all finish it. But without it, to try and finish it by the three of you would make at least one of you sick.
I'm gonna do it.
Alright. Make a Constitution saving throw then. It's not gonna be...
Nice.
For a second, you feel like you're going to spew. But you hold it in. Just barely. One might say by 1 point. Armax, you're fine. Ynit, being a far larger frame than you, can pack in most of the extra. Alright. But as the hour goes by and you finish eating your delicious Marvin's breakfast, you do all feel something.
Ah, crap.
You feel faster.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Usually the opposite happens when you eat delicious sweets.
Well, filled with sweetness, you've all gained sugar rush. Your movement speed is increased by 5 for the next 8 hours.
I can run for a mile.
I can go everywhere.
It's only by 5, but it's... You ate a 2-foot tall stack of sugar. I'm gonna feel bad for your teeth, but damn it, you fucking did it.
Sweet.
And something you do notice, Armax, while you were eating, and Ynit would also notice too, one of the layers was Zapple jelly.
We should do this every morning.
I ask, what is apple jelly?
Well, Marvin's currently just fixing up another order. It looks like somebody else saw what you're having and said they'd have it as well. But a waitress does walk by every so often, if you want to ask them. Hello?
Hey,
I'm sorry?
hello. Waitress.
Oh, what you need, hon?
Hello, what is apple jelly?
Oh. Never had a Zapple before. It's one of them weird fruits you get up in the Emerald Glades. Them storm catcher trees make them. Kind of hard to get, dangerous to make. Damn tasty.
Is it just me, or does this place seem to be more defined by its food?
Hon, you're in Marvin's castle of cauldron cakes. Ain't nothing here but food and good. Ain't nothing here but food and good time.
There's flowers that's everywhere, edible.
At the very least, the city.
Okay, wait, what?
What?
Well,
I
you're
specifically meant more, including the continent. However, it is relatively close to the city, as the city is named after its plant, the Amarant, which, as far as we've defined, is mostly related to its food sources. However, I do regard that as beneficial of survival, which is the reason why the city's the first one.
I just caught what you were doing, Will. Bravo. Well, hon, depending on how you survive, you tend to cherish it. We have some pretty decent food here. You can't get this much bread anywhere else.
Why is it called...
What?
I'll let someone else get a word.
No, go ahead. Sorry about that. I got distracted by a thing.
I think I like this place. I think I like these people, and I think I like this food. However, it makes me suspicious how much I like it. It makes me suspicious however much everyone else likes it, especially given the regards of the attack on the city. Although I could demonstrate the fact that the reason why everybody's happy is because they're trying to escape from the fact of the attack on the city and the constant word from the structure
Did you know-
going on.
Did you know that sugar is addictive?
It also makes you ramble.
I don't think he's ever had sugar before.
Hey,
No,
Marv?
that is not a common substance that I ingest within my body.
Hey, Marv, table 15 switching to decaf.
I have not had any sort of caffeine.
And we don't serve coffee, hon.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I'm glad that we're in agreement. However, that does not make the statement you just made liable into the proper context of the sequence of this conversation that we're having.
You're adorable, hon. And she just walks away.
I think you're getting better.
That is also the first time I have ever been called adorable. I will count that as a victory. I pull out my book and I make a mark on the back.
Is it one of those punch-out books where it's like after you succeed, you punch a little hole out in the back?
Yeah. It's got little social victories on the back.
It's got achievements in the back of it.
Well, in this 100-page book, the last 30 pages are left to write down accomplishments, goals, dreams. There's a place where you can sketch. There's an ad for getting colored wax sticks.
Is it Doodle by Armax when he wasn't looking?
least not this time.
Oh God.
All right. So what do you guys want to do?
Let's see. Want to try to make some money again with the bulletin board?
Oh, I have an appointment for mani-pedi, facial, spa treatment.
Josh, you're a little quiet.
Sorry, you hear me now?
A little better. I'm gonna turn you up on my end.
Okay, I think my mic's like going off, but I have an appointment for a mani-pedi and facial and spa treatment.
I do not.
Okay, I need to find a way to get all the energy out of him.
That's okay. I was thinking of spending the rest of the evening performing research on the plant of the Amarant in order to try and discover what it is we do, as well as figure out what I can over the power of our badges so we can determine the actual bounds of our authority.
I would join him because I am legitimately afraid of what he will accomplish.
All right. Well, if this is where the party's going to split ways, then I'll go with Unit first. Unit, going back to the Ethereal Waters, they do have you penciled in tonight, and they basically have you set for above average, but still sort of standard routine. It is a lot of just like general health care and skin. There's a light soak in it. It'll take you roughly the rest of the night, but for 30 gold, it definitely helps.
Oh yeah, for 30 gold for sure. I mean, I gotta have the nails trimmed and the hand and foot because I can't do my blade song and dance without perfect manicures.
Of course. Then for the rest of the afternoon and night, you're getting your non-hair did.
Lock it.
And don't forget to mark off that gold.
I am 30 gold.
Now then, Armax and Bran, what do you guys want to try and do?
I'm gonna help him research these things, and let's see. I guess which would be more important to study first? Our limitations on badges, or the plants and things?
The badges, definitely.
All right, I guide the excited little bundle of energy to the necessary badge location.
Well, there really isn't one. Asking around, because that's basically what you have to do at this point. You do find that most of the populace just knows to respect it, where everyone who has it is kind of in the same boat as you are. They don't know what they can or can't do with it. They basically know they have less authority than the guards, but the guards respect people who have it. It's more akin to a badge of honor as opposed to an actual, sheriff's badge.
So is this kind of like the Kentucky Colonel Award?
In a vein.
So we can just bullshit people with these.
I mean, to an extent. It's not carte blanche. You've learned that already when you were trying to get into the warehouse district. But it definitely gets people's attention.
I'm putting my scheming hat on.
I guess a way to look at it is, it gets you new dialogue options, basically.
Right. It stops people from just blatantly dismissing us.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we can use it to better get leverage and strong-arm people.
Probably don't want to break the trust of badge.
No, but I'm just saying, say there's a situation where we really need to, get into an area and things aren't complying, just imply that the badge has more power than it technically does.
If we overstep our bounds, that would be pretty severe.
Oh, no. We'll just say that we didn't know the badges couldn't do that.
It's a pretty poor excuse.
You'd be surprised at how often it works.
Says the people who killed a farmer. for his deed.
Yeah.
Hey, that was just karma.
Hey, I just watched.
I wanted to take him to jail. And now he's in several incredibly charred pieces. All right, let's go research that flower.
All right. Well, the only library in town would be the Quartz Lyceum, which Unit is familiar with, and so is Sophis. And going there, I mean, it's not
Just
terrible.
testing a thing.
Yeah, a lot of that's going to need to get changed,
Okay.
but it's the general idea.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
so
making sure it works.
yeah. But yeah, kinda. But looking into it, you can actually start peering through like literature about it, and that would be an investigation.
Oh,
Okay.
And as you are literally researching.
Can you put in a script so every time he casts or uses it, it plays Genie
Dang
model?
it! Every freaking time.
I wish I could. I've been trying to get that. I saw somebody find a way to put GIFs into their spells, and I can't find a way to replicate it. Because I would totally do that for your spells. Alright. The two of you begin looking around through the library, and it's basically just a treasure trove of books and poems and lots of just random information about them. And basically, you just relearn what you've already been told. This flower was here when the first settlers were, and it's pretty resilient. You know, when dried in the ground, it can be used as a substitute for barley and wheat. That's pretty much it.
Did they go without me? I'm still at the.
Yeah, no, you're going to be in there for the rest of the night. This is like the last thing they have.
Cool.
Well, we've learned a lot about wheat.
Mm,
Wheat replacement.
yeah.
Wait, is it higher in fat?
Surprisingly enough, no. Relatively similar, but has more fiber.
I'd rather
Got
have
it.
sorghum.
It's kind of like kale.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right here. Kale is a poisonous plant in this universe.
Whoa.
I fucking hate kale.
What are you talking about? Kale's great. It actually causes methane emissions from cows to go to zero.
I fucking hate kale.
Where would we go in the city for magic items?
Okay, this is you wouldn't necessarily know, but you do know that Unit and Chuck have talked about it before.
Like, I guess maybe an antique store?
Okay, I guess we'll go ask Ned.
Well,
Yeah, let's go ask it so we can get cool tchotchkes.
after scanning the same bookshelf in a hall of bookshelves for an hour, it is basically night, and you can all turn into your quaint little 5x5 room. Unit coming back, looking really nice. Very soft skin, nice manicure, and even a couple of his scars aren't there anymore.
Totally worth it.
Hey, Ned.
What's up?
If I wanted to get items of a magical nature, where would I go to do that?
Oh, that's easy. Chuck and I checked that out the other day. It's over near. Is that DTSS?
No, that's Tinker Tailor's Bright Cauldron.
That's right, Calden. Thank you.
Yeah, because it was stone's throw from Nighters.
it still be open?
Oh, I don't know. It's like pretty late.
Oh, hey, did I ever get that stuff from Niter?
No, you did not go. You left.
Let's see. It's like nighttime right now, right?
Yes. And 2 weeks later. No, hold on. It was 8 days up, 8 days back, 16. 3 there, 3 back. That's 24. Plus 2 you spent in the town. So it's been a month.
I need to go get those drugs.
Well, I mean, after, at nighttime is a good time to go and get drugs. What time is it? Like midnight?
Can I go get those drugs?
It's pushing past sundown.
Oh, not too late.
Yeah. Alright. So, around midnight, Armax, you make your way to the designated note that you found, and you find nothing. You go all the way around the store, and you find nothing.
No, I thought he meant come back to the shop at midnight.
Yeah, 28 days ago.
I don't remember there being a time frame.
Wait, is this the guy he gave the thing to?
Nope.
That's something else. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing there.
I'll just talk to him tomorrow.
Alright. The morning passes, and you get word from Bort that Chuck's doing better. He's still recovering, but the infection has been cleared out. He's currently no longer in mortal danger.
Wow.
It's a good thing Chuck isn't a mere mortal.
You know what? You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Tis true.
Okay, so it's next day. You wanna go check out the Bright Cauldron?
Yeah, we can check out the Bright Cauldron.
Let's go check out the Bright Cauldron.
Oh,
Yes, the Bright Cauldron.
So, making a jolly stroll through the center of town, you once again return to an all too familiar sight. A small, little, quaint, almost country home-looking thing with a large store window, a very modest sign, and a beaded curtain. Right. Inside, you are greeted by a very familiar sight for Nit. For the rest of you know, a sort of garish dressed drow who's just currently dusting a few objects on the shelf. As soon as you come in, he just sort of turns around with a smile. My friends, welcome. What can I help you with?
Well, my friends here looking for some fancy items. I'll let them describe them for you.
Hello, my name is Brand the Blood Hunter, and I am currently seeking something possibly within my price range, possible to save up for, that will allow my
Yes,
ability to perceive and observe certain insights to hold more advantage over others.
He sort of like leans over to Yannette and just like, is your friend slow?
It just takes a while to get used to how he speaks.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I do not carry anything of that sort. I carry more useful stuff. I carry campsites in their books. I carry Cure for Athlete's Foot. unbreakable shovels, but they only work on dirt. Oh, I just got this hat. It protects you from rain. And anything you're carrying. It is a nice hat.
Does it match my cloak?
Absolutely not. You look at it and it is like, it is stereotypical wizard hat, but poorly constructed. It's like patchwork leather. It's bright blue and neon green.
I could attract a mate with this.
I don't think you would get much mating done if it protects against water, but that's just me.
Well, just based on this first little spiel here, it seems like I'm gonna get more use out of Zaki. I have a better relationship with him anyways.
Wait, Zagiti is in town?
No,
Oh.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I could not think of a single god or devil that could kill Zakiti. He would talk them to death. The man was a nuisance, and at the same time he was a genius.
Where'd he go?
No clue. Whenever Zakiti got a bug up his ass for an experiment, he chased it. Last I heard, he went up north. As far as I know, he's probably halfway to the Frigid Emperor himself. And I have pity on Abgor. For if Zakiti got into his establishment, he is going to have a mess of hell to clean up. As the old saying goes, it's not Tuesday till Zakiti blows something up. You know it's Wednesday when it's somebody who blows up.
I giggle.
Out of character, did we have any plans for the dino hide, claws, teeth, and spine?
I don't remember you guys having anything specific.
Outside of eating flanks, I cannot recall.
No, it didn't even look like it would really make that great of an armor. I think our plan was just to sell it.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, it's quality stuff, but once again, you didn't have it tanned either, so it's technically useless in its current form.
I can't remember this guy's name.
Oh, Wodalo.
Otaro. Would he have any idea of who might be interested in these, or would he be interested?
It's, let me see. You just sort of taking a look at it, it's just like, yeah, it is decent hide. You don't really get to kill one of those spinals every so often. It's not particularly useful, I'm afraid. It's just better quality stuff. Your average armor smith would probably pay you some, but you know what? It is a slow day. I'd be willing to take up all of it from you for about 60 gold pieces. I could probably furnish a chair with this.
It's a 10 foot by 10 foot section.
Oh, you meant the scale. No, I thought you just meant the teeth and the leather. Like, looking at the 10 by 10, just like, what in the hell would anyone want to do with this? It's...
Why don't
You can make it into a pretty bitchin' cape.
Why wouldn't we just take this to the tailor who would actually buy it and make something?
It's... Honestly, my friend, it would be a good idea. I deal in the
Well,
arcane. They deal in the material.
That's why I asked if he knew of anyone that would be interested.
If you go to TTSS, they'll give you a better deal than I can.
Okay.
Possibly. Unless they already have better stuff, in which case they probably won't take it from you.
All right. Well, I think we're done here then. If you ever do get in a hat like that one, but different colors, let me know.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, this experience has been mildly disappointing. I guess let me know if you manage to find anything actually useful for a blood hunter, maybe.
Or something that just destroys human brains.
Okay, the same thing I told your bald friend and your very dumb friend. It is not legal for a man like myself to sell weapons to civilians. It is against my licensing.
We're not civilians. Show them the badges.
Shows badges.
I also did not ask for weapons. I specifically asked for something that would help me gain knowledge.
And you'd be surprised how long you can live without a brain.
Unfortunately, this is the third time he's been asked about weapons, so he's kind of frustrated. And thank you for remembering the badges. The second you pull out the badge, he takes one look at it and just, how in the hell? And just snatches it from your hand, clears off a book on his desk, places it on the little glass panel, taps it, and as it begins to float, these green arcane runes begin to circle around. It's just like, there is no way this is legit. There is no way in hell. I don't care if you're a mainlander. There is no... And just, as the second he finishes that thought, it just flashes to all the green and places back down. What? That's ridiculous. Picks it up. He goes into the back cabinet where he has like these shelves of books. Pulls out another sort of older-looking glass, stained glass-looking panel. Puts it on, blows off the dots, and just starts casting something at it. And again, it starts spinning with these green arcane runes. They just start looking around it, scanning it, and again, after a few short seconds, it stops, lands, and it's just a solid green light. How in the fucking hell did you actually manage to earn one of these?
We beat up a doctor.
I can believe that at this point. Alright, fine. At this point, the music in the background stops, and he takes a cylindrical looking vase in the back, like by his window, turns it upside down, and places it right in a beam of sunlight. And the second he does that, the lights in the room start going dark as different shades start closing. The beaded curtain behind you now has these ting 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 sounds, and looking back, you can see that the beads themselves have embedded themselves into the wooden frame and are now as strong as steel. And the front window, which Chuck had a very, very entertaining punch at, now covers itself with these like steel bars, almost locking itself down. Alright, come with me. He leads you into the sort of like backling staircase that you see there, but he puts his foot on the first step and forces it down, and the staircase that leads up now slams down into a basement, and he just waves you forward.
Ritzy. I immediately walk towards him.
Right.
I follow as well.
Yeah, let them go first.
Badge. Hand it over.
He just flicks it with his thumb back at you. Now, after going down about 15 or so steps, you get into this, like, very black-looking room. Like, even the light from this that was on the staircase doesn't pass through. He then walks to a single spot in the center, taps it, and you just hear as these walls of weapons and armor and different assortments of gear and miscellaneous pieces of bric-a-brac now have these bright spotlights laid upon them. Even in the center of this room, these shelves just sort of raise out of the darkness and have these different assortments of rings and wands and staffs and blades, gems of all shapes and sizes, and he's at another similar counter to the one you saw ahead, or saw upstairs, but now it's more reserved. Everything in here is less fanciful and decorative and more mechanical and specific. It's almost military down here.
You really cut off the whimsy.
Less disappointing.
Look, a small part of my job is to make sure that weapons do not wind up in the hands of children and innocents. So, I make sure to buy them and get them off the street. We're going to thank most of the peacefulness inside the city to me. So whenever I get the
I have no problems with this, and I will choose to believe it.
But, as part of this deal, I need to make money in order to purchase the weapons to begin with. So I sell a few on the side, as part of my agreement with the Duchess. Because you have those fucking badges, I am obligated to sell to you. Much to my chagrin.
Have we proven ourselves to be irresponsible with weapons and magical items?
Here's the thing. I don't care. I don't like these things being out there to begin with. But I know for the sake of the city, I must comply. That was the deal that I was given, and that's why I'm here. So, while you are in my shop, you will keep your hands to yourself. Those lights are not just for show. If you put your hands into them, they may just disintegrate. If you try to steal from my shop, I will have Tony take care of you.
Who's Tony?
Oh, sorry, it's my accent. It's Tony. And as he says that, the wall where the staircase was closes in, but it closes in with like each side of the walls like sliding into each other, and you can see now that their fingers, huge stony fingers that run along the walls as these blue arcane sort of inlays lead into the walls and into the back behind him, which is a giant dwarven stone-looking face that apparently is the owner of these arms. And in an instant, he looks to be able to crush the entirety of the room in his grasp.
Hey, Tony.
Tony.
Right.
Well, I must say, I changed my mind about you. You are both wise and careful, and you appear to be prepared for almost any circumstance regarding the acquisition of these weapons without your permission.
You cannot butter me up, weird one.
I was giving you a compliment.
That's what he said. You can't butter him up.
Oh no, he's not trying to butter you up. He's just bad at this.
Is that what compliments are for? Are they used to butter people up?
Okay, I will offer you a discount if he stops talking.
Deal. I put a hand over his mouth.
A wing?
Yes.
He has hands and wings. They are both feathery, though. Alright. Now, a lot of this that I have set to be destroyed in the Citadel Slag, but there are a few things that I am allowed to sell. I currently have in my more obvious shop a splintering arrowhead, another bag of holding that I see that you have. I have this iron net, which is a very big seller amongst hunters like yourself. And he moves over to this display case, and inside it there's this iron net with these sort of miniature skulls made of jade and ruby on all the ends. Very mean looking. I also have a ring of imbuement set to Enrique's quills. Kind of popular for you arcane types. Let's see, what else have I gotten in recently? Yeah. I did get this alchemical jug some time ago, as well as some enchanted arrows, ring of swimming, which, to be quite honest, I always have one of these in my jewel box to begin with. Boots of the trail. I have these gauntlets of the mighty fist. Very good for you arcane types, as typically you're not very good brawlers, but this makes you a damn good brawler. I have, Neither recently returned these to me, so I'm happy to sell it. The Hands of the Craftsman. They help you if you are trying to make anything arcane or anything more than a little mystical. My big item, which I can already tell you, I'm going to make sure it is destroyed if you don't buy it today. It's not to pressure you, this is just, I hate the damn thing. It is an amulet of body blades. Dangerous piece of work. I met the man who made this. He was an asshole.
An amulet of what now?
An amulet of blades. It is similar to the imbuement ring, as it gives you access to a spell that you normally would not have. But this one is designed to cast a specific spell. The spell of body blades. It covers your entire body in these rough, jagged, rusty spikes. Makes you incredibly harder to hit. And it makes you very painful in close quarters. Very good for the types that don't carry big armor. Or if you just want to be an asshole. Very dangerous thing. I also do still have some campsites in a bottle. Not as good as my campsite in a box, but anything helps, right?
have anything? Looking at Brand who can't speak. Uh, actually, physically as a weapon.
My friend, a lot of what I told you is a weapon.
I mean, like something you can wield as like a swordy like thing.
Hold on. Let me have a look. And he just starts looking through a couple of his things. I mean, the splintering arrowhead is legitimately a weapon. It is a dangerous piece of work. You could affix it to a spear and make it a splintering spearhead. Nasty thing. Nasty. As for an actual weapon, oh, I do have a few weapon charms if you are interested in those. Oh, yeah, a few. I have one of each. They don't come in all that often, and I'm glad for it.
What did it do?
Let's see. I have a weapon charm of finesse, light, and thrown. They can be affixed to a weapon and give that weapon the property that it possesses, essentially charming it. If you ever wanted a light greatsword or a finesse hammer or a throwing pike, this would be the ways to do it.
That's pretty sick.
Now, the problem to that is the charm can be easily removed, but doing so destroys the charm. The one-time use. Oh, quite a while.
But if you don't try to remove it, it stays charmed.
Correct. The weapon gains the property. It does not become magical, and this is important because people keep asking. Oh, wait. I do have a legitimate weapon. And this one I'd be glad to get rid of. It creeps me out. I have a troll rod. It is a pommel made from a troll's arm. A living troll's arm. It could pick things up, it could drop them, it could even make a fist and punch something. It functions as a magical weapon. It's also creepy as hell. I do not like having a disembodied arm that likes to wave at me in my shop.
Well, at least it wasn't made by an asshole.
No, I'm pretty sure it was. Who the hell else would take a living troll's arm, imbue it to survive, and then put it on a stick?
Someone who had tall shelves.
What would be the properties of that? Is it like a two-handed weapon?
It is a basic mace.
It sounds like the evolved form of Chuck's stick.
Oh, he's a grabby stick.
This is a super grabby stick.
I kind of like thought of those charms and the blade thing.
The enabling the blade body.
Yeah, the body blades, whatever.
Let's see.
What were all the things that were listed again?
Here, a splintering arrowhead, a bag of holding, ring, an imbuement ring that gives you access to the Enrique's quills, an iron net, and a chemical jug. I have a few enchanted arrows, if any of you have an arrow type fetish. Ring of swimming, boots of the trail, the gauntlets of the mighty fist, in case you want to punch something, hands of the craftsman, amulet of body blades, campsite in a bottle. And, oh, hold on. I did get a couple other things. They're not weapons, but they can be useful. I do have 3 arrows of teleportation. When firing these arrows, you instead teleport to where the arrow hits. A range of 100 feet. It's pretty nice.
That's interesting.
But if you attach it to something that has longer range,
It only works at 100 feet. Anything past that, and it just becomes inert.
oh,
Let's see.
What is that spell you said is in the Ring of Imbuement?
Oh, an imbuement ring. You may not have probably never heard of these. These imbuement rings give you access to a spell, but not in the normal sense. He goes over to a little ring cabinet and pulls out this small little ring that's made of that looks like it's made of copper, but on it are just these little quills, like feathered quills, with the points pointing outward and the feathered tips pointing in. The imbuement ring actually gives you the spell imbued into it. adds it to your spellbook, if you will. This means
What?
it gains any benefits to a spell that you would. Far more powerful than your average object, but when it comes at a price. What they're doing to them.
What spell does it have?
This is Enrique's Quiz. It's a very simple spell, and he puts it onto his finger, and you can see him sort of lightly rub on it, and a blue flash happens, and the ring sets onto his finger. This is what it does. He points over into the darkness, and you can see a training dummy pop up. He flicks his hand down to the ground, and his hand fills with 4 long iron quills, and in one swift motion, he throws them into the dummy. You just hear the tick-tick-ting as these 4 quills dig into the target. These quills are not very powerful. In fact, a basic punch from an untrained soldier will hurt as just about as much. But this is the benefit. Take a look. And you look back and you can see, after about 6 seconds, the quills flash and dig deeper into the armor. If you keep using it, you get to keep having more quills. They're a pain in the ass to remove as well. So, even if they do not do a terrible amount of damage, they will keep hurting. They will chew through armor.
Yeah.
They don't last forever, but if imbued onto the right person, you can throw even more of these quills. Now, you still have to hit the target in order to use this, so so it is not a perfect spell, but hey, who would complain about a cantrip, huh?
It's not a bad thing. I mean, how much are you looking to part for it?
Let's see, this is... Yeah. I currently have a seller over in the Amarant swamp who wants it, but I hate that guy, so I'd be willing to part with it for 500 gold pieces.
500 gold pieces, huh? And,
Now, I should also state, you do not have to be an arcane user to use this. It imbues anyone who wears it to the spell.
can you dip it in poison before you throw them?
I suppose technically you could, though... I suppose you could, but you would have to find an easy way to apply poison, as the quills do not last terribly long. Unless they are in a target, in which case they can last up to 10 minutes.
I mean, they are in your hand, right?
Correct. As I said, it is possible. I am not saying you can't.
I mean, 500 gold's is a bit. I mean, would you be willing to give a local non-asshole discount? I mean, I did keep that creepy guy from talking to you.
That is true. Make a persuasion check.
Hold on 1 second. I had all the tabs open.
You know what? I am willing to get rid of this thing. I could bring it down to 450.
450, huh? How we divvying up the money? I don't want to use like a whole bunch of chunk change on this.
I kind of want to ask about the amulet.
Go ahead.
Which amulet is it? The blade amulet?
The blade body. I'm just thinking out of character here. I would think, well, Aramax, what's your dexterity?
Let's see, that's what I'm looking at right now. Let's see. Let's see, let's see. I got +2.
+2. I would think the person with the highest dexterity would want the quills, because they have the highest chance to hit, given that it's a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
But Amarant is the one who stays back the most, so I almost would have wanted him to have it. I would almost want it, except for the fact that I dual wield, and I'm really right in the face of just about everything that we're fighting.
Mm-hmm. And then
And,
the gauntlets are kind of nice, but would Chuck do any good with those?
I will say, out of character, they would be better on somebody who wants to brawl but doesn't have the ability. For Chuck, they're basically just a +1 for attunement. But he's a +1 to melee, so that's kind of his thing.
Okay, so
I have no point to gauntlets. I have no interest.
I could only see the gauntlets being useful for me in a situation like you remember when the sap dude came up,
Right.
like as an emergency.
Almost. I do. If the amulet of Blade Body though is anything like what I'm thinking it is, it would be very helpful for either me or Chuck, since he and I are
I'll be right back.
Right.
Hello?
Yeah, he was what was that spell was?
You guys are very robotic to me. Is that just me? Okay, hold on. Everybody.
Oh, everyone's connection just went crazy.
The amulet of Blade.
Hello?
Okay.
What? They just send us to a bad server?
Possible.
No. Wode's shop is resistant to divination magic, so we're kind of getting. We're basically walking to a Faraday cage with a radio.
okay, so you're
Anyway, so for the amulet of Blade Body, I was thinking for either me or Chuck, because he and I are constantly right in the face of whatever
Yeah.
we're fighting.
Yeah, you're right up in the body.
And that's like a constant assuming that it works how I think it works. That's like a constant damage
Okay.
going on every round, which is always helpful. What else was listed? There was boots, some sort of boots of trail.
Boots of the Trail, yes. Let's
Oh,
see.
well, I'm not supposed to.
What are
No, he basically meant just you blathering. You can ask questions.
Oh, okay. What are the boots of the trail?
The boots of the Trail, and he pulls them out, and they look like very ratty, well-worn boots crusted in mud. These boots are odd because they look like crap now, but once you put them on, they are immaculate and they are beautiful with gold and lace. And the benefit is you do not leave a trail while wearing these boots. Makes you incredibly difficult to follow.
Are they made for walking?
They're made for hiking, actually. Also, they relieve the stress of marching. So if you had to press on longer than you had to, you wouldn't become exhausted as quickly. It also gives you a benefit to stealth checks in case you are worried about sneaking, as they are incredibly silent and leave no trail. Their benefit, though, you can have them leave a trail, but have them do it on their own. You can actually send them off to lead your enemies away. And then, once they are done, they walk back to you. Very nice for, subterfuge.
Sounds pretty useful too. Or I would think it was if we did a little bit more stuff.
I can fly, so my
Yeah, you don't really leave a trail. I would be pretty interested in those if it weren't for the fact that Chuck to wherever we're going.
As I said, they are very useful.
So let's see. With
Can
one,
I?
go
Can,
ahead.
can we get a better description on the amulet of Blade Body?
Yes. The amulet of the blade body. Uh, silver chain necklace covered in rusty barbs and stained with blood allows the user to cast blade body on themselves. After doing so, the necklace becomes inert for 1 week, in which case it then regains its charge. As an action on yourself, you can cast blade body for a minute, and it is concentration. Wait, no, it's not concentration on the amulet. Sorry. Nope, wait, no, it is. Damn it, sorry, I'm reading different notes. It's concentration, and it gives you a +1 to your AC so long as you're not wearing heavy armor. And if you are grappled or are grappling, you do 2d4 plus your spellcasting, or 2d4 plus your spellcasting modifier as piercing damage to the target. So in this case, it would base. Actually, everyone here can cast a spell except Chuck. So all of you would be, your spellcasting modifier for Chuck, I guess, would be his strength. So 2d4 plus, on average, 3. It does last for a minute, which is the kind of good point to it.
Takes a whole week to charge, though. It's brutal.
Oh, it is +1 to AC.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like, this is basically like an emergency spell.
And it says you can make regular melee attacks with it?
No, if you are grappled or are being grappled, you do damage to them every round.
Chuck does like to grapple things.
Like, your body literally becomes covered in rusty shards.
That can give tetanus.
I think that's the idea.
It was made by an asshole.
I think Chuck would like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so far we have the cantrip ring for the quills. Then we have the amulet spikies.
And what exactly did the gauntlets do?
Which ones?
The gauntlets. I'm sorry, that
of
was
the mighty
stupid.
fist or crafting or crafting.
Oh, non-crafting base. Sorry.
Oh,
I completely forgot about the crafting ones.
It essentially gives you the Tavern Brawler ability when fighting, and gives you a +1 to your unarmed melee attacks. So it's basically a +1 for Chuck.
Yeah.
The rest of you, it's +1 plus Tavern Brawler.
Can I? Would you mind if
Go ahead.
I tested to see if one of my magics would work on the ring of Quill?
I can see why not. He takes it off, and again, there's this blue shimmer to it as he hands it to you. Just be careful. I'm still
Okay,
cleaning up parts of the last guy who tried to screw me when holding an object in here.
I'm gonna put it on.
Alright. And the second it locks onto your fingers, you feel it snap on, and in the back of your mind, there's this weird spell that you've never known before, and it's just there.
Okay, I am going to activate my Crimson Right, my Blood Right, and apply it to the ring.
Huh. Please read me what your Crimson Right is again for me.
Yeah, I'm reading through it right now to see if it applies to all items. It says, as a bonus action, you imbue a single weapon. Oh, hold on. The screen is. Okay.
Oh, single weapon?
Yeah. Okay, as a bonus action, you imbue a single weapon with the elemental energy of a known right until the next short or long rest. While active, attacks from this weapon deal additional damage. The right damage changes. Should it leave your grip, the right... Wait. Okay. The active right on a thrown weapon or on a weapon thrown fates directly after the attack is complete. When a Crimson Rite is activated, you suffer damage. Blah 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 blah. Can be used on multiple weapons. So it does specify weapon throughout the entire text.
Yeah, and this is technically a spell. Like, as I'm rereading through it, they don't really last in your hand. You essentially throw them out. And I would say this: you don't have an attack roll for it. It's just you throw out these little dots.
Okay, then I wouldn't think it would count then, if it doesn't even have an attack roll.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Like, this is basically a very weenie version of Magic Missile.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think I'd be sacrificing damage at that.
For you, yeah, probably.
Okay, so feeling that my blood right does not take effect on the ring, I go ahead and take it off.
Alright, he takes it back from you. Alright. Yeah, it was a shame. Let's see. I may have some other things for you. Hold on. Please, continue. The splintering arrowhead could still be good for you. Yeah.
Really?
Say again?
I was trying to remember exactly what it does. Is it a one-time use?
Actually, no. It is reusable. Essentially, affixing it to a spear or an arrowhead, you can fire it, or stab with it, and it explodes into a hail of obsidian splinters. Hurts everything within range, including the attacker. But you can recover one of these splinters, reattach it to another spear or arrowhead, and use it again. It's essentially one-time use in combat, unless you can find another one and fix it on in time.
And you couldn't pick up multiple splinters?
I'm afraid not. It essentially reforms into one. Let's see.
I'm the only one that uses arrows, and I'm never far.
It also works on spears.
Yeah, but almost all of my ability eat away at my health already.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I understand. There's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
see
it's
why
not to-
you can see why I like to keep these things off the streets. Imagine if some kid had access to these. The amount of damage they could do.
I think we only really have a use for the amulet and maybe the charms.
I'd be interested in that tavern brawler feature since I'm fairly good on range stuff at the moment.
Yeah, but you really shouldn't be getting in close. Even 1 AC, you're still gonna be pretty squeaky.
Yeah, but it seems like the last 3 combats we've had someone get in my face. Including a T-Rex.
I don't see how being able to punch them just a tad harder is going to help you. Most of your power has to do with distance, so instead of wasting a turn on punching, it's better for you to find a way to get away and then cast spells.
I guess something more for evading would probably be better. You got anything for evasion? Or attacks of opportunity?
It's... Yeah... Yeah, unfortunately not as much. Once again, there's a lot of others who come in here and try to partake of some objects. It is a buyer's market, as one would say.
Right.
I mean, if you do not like having things near you, the iron net is pretty good at restraining a creature. Keeps them out of your grill.
What's the iron net do?
Let's see. If you throw this net onto a target and speak its command word, it turns into a twisting iron cage that restrains them for an hour. While it's transformed this way, they must make a strength check to break free versus 18. If they try to break it as an AC of 15, and they must deal 50 damage into it to destroy it. Once you use this ability, you cannot use it again until the next dawn. If the net is ever destroyed, it reforms in your possession in 24 hours.
Okay. So the net sounds moderately useful. The boots sound moderately useful. That amulet of blade body sounds really useful. It's just that the one weight is just difficult to overcome. Like right now, since we're almost between encounters, it's not that bad. But if we ever delved into a dungeon, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but it would be a nice little thing to activate for a big boss battle type thing.
That's true. Let's see, what else seems...
I mean,
if you... the quills sound useful, except that I don't know who could use them.
They would be good for someone who doesn't already have a ranged attack, I think. We don't really need that.
I mean that's basically Chuck. Because Chuck technically doesn't have any range.
He can pick up anything and throw it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's proficient in throwing it.
Right.
Yeah, it does, because anything he uses is a pugilist weapon.
Let's see, yeah.
He's got 7 brawler feet, basically.
Let's see, I'm looking at that right now.
Let's see. Well, if you are...
Yeah, proficient with improvised weapons and unarmed strikes.
Improvised weapon does not equal ranged weapon.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Anything he picks up, and anything he uses as a weapon becomes a pugilist weapon, so he becomes a person.
Yes,
but
to swing.
Does that include spell? Because again, that's specifying weapon. It's the same hook that my blood right has.
No, I'm saying he doesn't need the thing because he has a ranged attack. It's anything he picks up becomes a ranged weapon.
Oh, I see. So he could like pick up a rock and throw it.
Yep.
Zach, are you trying to say something in chat?
No.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Am I saying something in chat?
Yeah, you keep flickering on something. Let's see.
I think the amulet would be good for Chuck, just because he grapples a lot, and that would be good for a nice little boss fight. I think that the charms might be very nice because you could get bigger weapons, and they'd still be counted as finesse if we get those, and light weapons as well. So I think we could all. Can you affix the light and finesse to one weapon, or only one to each?
I'm afraid not. It requires a stronger charm in order to do that. They exist, but I do not have access to them.
But if he could use a bigger weapon that's not finesse, he could make it a finesse weapon.
Of course, yes.
Or even make it a light weapon.
Yes. Or make it a thrown weapon.
Yeah, so I think the charms would be good, the amulet, maybe the boots. I really just don't see a use for that ring.
Yeah, I think we bypassed the usefulness of the ring.
I mean, I will say this, it's 44 onto up to 2 targets.
44?
When you become immune to it, it gets your benefits. Enrique's Quills is a cantrip. So it's 2d4 now, but it's 44 since you guys are 5th level.
Yeah, but that could just be 5 damage. Or
True,
4 damage.
but it does scatter.
I don't know.
And isn't it consistent?
Yes.
I was looking at money. How much does the ring cost?
You were able to talk him down on that ring to 450.
It's like a lot of our gold there.
Yeah.
For an trip that we might be able to buy.
I mean, we could come back for that if what was he ready to get rid of?
Uh,
He said he was like just about to get rid of it just because he didn't want it around anymore.
oh, it was the Amulet of Body Blades.
Right. I think we should get that as cheap as possible, since he's gonna get rid of it anyway, and then come
Yes.
back for the ring.
Or the boots.
I mean, it, I can only tell you, I can tell you this: nothing in here has a guaranteed shelf life. If I can find a sailor who wants to buy this and take it back to the old world, I let them have it. If not, I send them to be either re-enchanted or disenchanted at the two other major cities. I would not trust anything on here staying here for too long.
Even if we, you know, as loyal customers, ask you to set them aside for, you know, say no longer than a month.
There has to be a customer for there to be loyalty, I'm afraid.
We're gonna buy some things. I'm just saying this we might hold off on now, and we buy some other things.
He's asking, like, you know, a layaway program.
I understand what you're saying, and once again, if I find somebody who wants it, which to be fair, no one seems to want the damn thing, I will try to get rid of it just to get rid of it. But I will not try to immediately sell it if that makes you feel better.
What if we put a deposit down on it?
That is different.
Alright, so how much are the charms?
Let's see. Give me a moment. Charm. Okay.
How many charms did you say there were? Just one?
There's 3, one of each different type.
Oh, okay.
There's a charm of finesse, a charm of light, and a charm of throwing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to 2d10. Okay, hold on, just gotta roll this.
Because if we can get to a one-handed weapon that's a bigger damage die,
Yeah, absolutely.
make it a light weapon. Do you use strength or finesse or dexterity?
I use dexterity.
So
Okay.
a larger finesse weapon that doesn't have to be light. I don't know. I don't look at the book right now.
The charms are pretty expensive, as one could only naturally assume. They are 700 apiece. Once again, the charms are reusable. You can affix them to another weapon later. That is their benefit.
Jeez.
Okay, and then how much is the amulet? You're gonna get rid of it soon anyway. I mean, get some money out of it before you destroy it.
Correct. And the guy who wants it, who I hate, was trying to pay 1,400 for it. I'm willing to get rid of it at 800.
Wait. Where is... Is platinum worth 10 gold or 100 gold?
10.
10. 12. So we're sitting at 1,200 right now?
Let's see.
You must have more than that, because there was also gold in those piles.
Yeah, but we spent some on fixing Chuck. We have 1,000 in gold pieces right now, but then we have some stuff we can sell worth 325 more gold, and then we have the Spino stuff, which we can probably get sold somewhere else.
Okay.
I have 100. I have 97 gold on me.
I've got 30 gold on me. So really we're at 15.
Yeah, roughly 1,500 is.
Okay. So I think, okay, what would we find the most immediate use for? The amulet, one of the charms, or what was the third
Either-
one? Oh, I guess,
either way.
yes, I was thinking of the boots, but I was thinking the boots would probably come in handy farther down the line when we can't just charge into everything.
Yeah, that might be something that we can pick up somewhere else. I'm thinking. Okay, so it's 450 for the ring. It's what do you say, 700 for the charms?
Yeah,
Yeah,
700
they're
for
700 apiece.
charm.
Right. I mean, if we just get one of the charms and just go ahead and get the ring for Chuck, maybe?
Who are you?
Who are you? I don't need. I have plenty of rings.
I don't know. Do you guys see Chuck ever using it?
I don't know.
I mean, it's always going to be something that can be used. I mean, don't forget, it is still +1 AC. That's not nothing to sneeze at. What would that put your AC at, Unit?
Oh wait, we're talking about the amulet?
Isn't that the amulet you were talking about? Okay, yeah, the amulet's the body
How
blades.
much again? That was expensive, like 15.
Oh no, the body blades. No, he was selling it for 1,400. He
but
would
he's
sell it to
marketing.
you for 800.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that would put me at 20 AC with blades, or 21 AC with blades on, but I don't. I'm fine. I don't know. I don't grapple.
Well, it's if you grapple or are grappled. It's basically really good for a frontline fighter, because it means if anything tries to get frisky with you, they hurt.
Right. So, like, if something tried to grapple me while I have that on and the armor of Agathis, we're talking quite a bit of damage each round, but that's assuming something grabs me, like the ooze, or when I got swallowed, or when that other thing grabbed. Actually, I get grabbed a lot. Why is everything in this campaign so frisky?
Unfortunately,
Well,
that's just how things keep rolling.
Also, well, let's face it, grappling is a legitimate fight move. I mean, hell, you've seen a freaking, what is it, like UFC or something? All it is just grab a person and punch him in the dick real hard.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's how you start and end all fights. Grapple, kick in the dick.
Okay, so what are we really looking at here? We're looking at being interested in the charms and the amulet. Is that what
Actually, real quick, I'd like to point at the small ambulance in the velvet case, or as the typo says, the valet case.
Fuck you.
What? The what amulet?
He points back to the wall that's along one of the like left-hand wall from when you came in, and there's a sort of one of the another display cases, and it's completely empty, except for one velvet case that has a small amulet with emblazoned with a green sort of I think it's called a python. It's like the kissing cousin to an emerald. Basically, a smooth green gem that's not diamond shaped, but like hexagonal. And emblazoned on it is a red K. It's the only thing on that shelf.
Excuse me, sir. I would like to know about the very friendly gemerald there.
Yeah? Oh. I picked that up from my sailor it was about a week or so ago. Let's see, what did he call it? He called it the Amulet of Thersdun. Thersdun. I do not remember specifically.
The amulet of Tarzan?
That might be it.
I'll take it off your hands.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I've been able to get that damn thing to do is cast light spells.
It seems all right.
What?
I mean, if you're serious,
Yeah, I love little tchotchkes like this. I got like a row of them on the shelf at the house.
Hey, hold on. Let me see what I have that priced as. I was honestly going to get rid of that as well.
Yeah, might as well give you some money.
For that crap, yeah. 100 gold pieces?
I'll give you 50 and let you keep the box.
I'm sorry, did you offer me 15 gold for something that's 100?
No, 50.
Oh, wait.
50. And you can keep the box.
Make a
I don't need a valet
persuasion
box.
check. I did get in the card game, so I don't really care about the damn thing. I go down to 75 gold pieces. And I'll
Deal.
let you keep the box.
Deal.
Yeah, fine. He just walks over and he reaches past the light, picks it up, and holding it in hand, just puts it to you. It's like, there you go. Just takes the money from your hand. It's like, I don't know why you want to cast light spells, but
Oh,
What do I care?
I didn't even know it did a thing. It was just talking to me.
I swear, nobody sane ever gets these badges. Nobody sane.
They're catch-22 badges.
Okay.
Beginning to hate you all. Alright. Can I
Hey,
interest
just
you in
gave
anything
money.
else?
You could love me.
Alright, let's get a charm. What charm do you want? The light or the finesse?
We're gonna have to actually pick something to use, I would think. I mean, almost anything that has light already has finesse.
Not necessarily true.
I said almost. Weapon.
And don't forget, you can put these on any weapon.
Right. But anything that's not light, I can't dual wield with.
So find something that's not light but is finesse.
So you could take. So basically, this is the thing that makes so that people can lift Buster Swords.
Technically, yes.
That's actually a very good description.
I mean, you could also like make a, like using this, you could make a finesse like polearm, or hell, a light polearm, so you can dual wield. So you can have a standard blade in one hand and then a reach weapon in the other, and attack with a bonus action.
Or you could dual wield pole arms.
They'd both need to be either light or
Yeah.
finesse.
You'd have to have 4 charms for that.
Okay, that would be the most amazing thing in the world, because that would just be someone windmilling every campaign.
Okay.
I mean, like from the team's perspective, the charms are basically an investment, because you never know
Right.
what you might get later.
Right. Because we can take them off and put them on a...
Yes.
So even if we just slap them on something as easy as like a great sword right now, we might come across something later that we can slap it on that might...
Basically, yeah.
I think we should get the light one.
I mean, I do have a 1 strength. But anything that's made light, I could actually lift with 1 hand.
What are you
Okay.
using, what are you using right now?
Okay, I'm using 2 short swords right now. I dual wield short swords.
What are the damage of them?
Just 1d6.
So you could go to a rapier, still a finesse weapon. It's a 1d8.
I already have a rapier.
Why don't you use that then?
Because he doesn't have dual
Oh, it
wielding.
doesn't have light. So yeah, I'm saying you actually use the rapier then, because you can make it a light weapon.
Hold on, let me ask him something. I am going to reach into my bag and pull out my book of faces.
Oh, okay.
How much could we get off one of the charms if I exchanged this in as well?
He's going to pick up the book questionably and start flipping through it, and he's going to begin witnessing hundreds of faces just emblazoned into these pages, like very sort of Pompeii or after Hiroshima, just these ghastly marks of individuals that, well, Gran has met, that none of you know. And peering through it, he's just confused, but then thinks that there's something more to this, and puts it again on that glass table that, begins identifying it, I could just say. Where in the hell did you get something like this?
You really want to know?
Fair point. Fair point. For this, I'd be. There is no one in the world who would want this thing, but there is no one in this world who should have this thing. I'd be willing to cut the price in half on one of those chums for this, just to ensure that it is never in hands again. This is some dark magic. No tome should contain even a fraction of a soul, let alone a copy.
The tome contains copies of souls?
In a sense, it does not take the physical face, it takes the real face. This is some dark arts. Where in all of Assyria did you find this thing? Now I have to know, because I asked.
It's a long story, and you don't like to hear me ramble.
Damn, catch-22s. Fine, my offer still stands. I will cut the price on one of the charms in half for this. Just to ensure I can burn it myself.
I guess so you guys understand what it is I'm potentially giving away here.
No.
Actually, no, remember, only you know. They're just seeing a book of faces.
Right. Which is why I was about to tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The book magically imprints every face that I've seen.
I think it was met.
Met, specifically. Like at one point, I was on a hunt for a set of cultists. I did run into one, but I never actually saw his face. However, by just running into him and engaging in combat for a few moments after he escaped, I was able to look into the book, and based off memorizing which faces I have already seen previously, I found out which one he was, and I was able to discern him among the rest of the villagers. Which is just about the only use from the book that I've been able to find thus far.
Interesting.
However, it requires a great deal of memorization in order for it to be used in such a way.
Does that tell anything else?
No, it's just their face.
Where'd you come across something?
So, if we met someone that we thought maybe disguised, I could look through the book, and assuming I've memorized every single face in the book except for that one, I'd be able to know that person's real face. However, the other problem is if I haven't met that person previously, then nope, because even if I had met them previously, we'd see their face, and I dismiss it. But if we hadn't met them previously, then I'd see a face that I haven't met that's not like the face that I did just, which is suspicious, but ultimately doesn't reveal anything. I mean, essentially, yeah, it's some dark magic, but it takes crap ton of work to get any use out of it, and even the use that I've discovered that comes out of it is marginal at best.
That sounds like you'd have to be Rain Man to get that to work.
Thank you.
And then be a Marathon Man to catch him.
But we
I
could
mean,
also...
maybe if I was a mage myself, I might be able to get more use out of the book, but I'm just a blood hunter.
It's up to you.
unless either of you can think of any other usefulness we might gather from the book, I currently think that we get more use out of getting 2 charms.
Well, one thing, it's whoever is the current owner of the book, it shows.
Right.
Yeah. So right now it shows everyone Will's met.
Wait, so you telling me that if he temporarily gave me ownership of the book, it would show every face that I've ever seen?
The face of every person you have met, even looking through illusions.
Wow. That's cool, but I mean, yeah, it's yours to give away. I can't see how that would help us, knowing, because...
I mean, if you guys can see a potential usefulness for it, then I'd rather keep it. But thus far, with the time that I've spent with it, I have not been able to find much practical use.
The only practical thing that I could even contemplate doing with it would be, I saw like a bunch of fucked up people when I was young. So outside of maybe getting a good jotting down of what their faces look like, no. And even that would just be temporary.
Yeah, I'd say do with it what you will.
Okay. Then I say we use it to. Okay, so what's 700? 350.
Yes.
So for 2 charms, it's 1,050. Ugh, that's still rough.
Yeah, the dice were not in your guys' favor today.
Could I try to talk him down?
There's no. You can try.
All right, so let's see. So they're trying. So you're trying to get the 2 charms, right?
We could just go with 1 charm. Unless we want to go with the amulet instead. I was just trying to find a way to make 2 charms actually viable.
Well, like, is there any way they could do like a buddy discount? I mean, we're dropping some heavy duty stuff on there. I mean, I'm sure that this is like at least a month's rent for the guy on the strip right here alone. And the more stuff we get, the more better stuff we can do, which means the more likely we're going to come back here and get repeat business.
As the way he's described it to you is basically most of the money he makes selling these, he uses it to get other objects off the street.
Yeah, and he can get more objects off the street. Moving these faster will help him get things off the street faster. And this isn't a profit area of the shop.
I think we should go for 1 charm and the amulet.
How much was the amulet? 800?
Yeah, he said he discounted to 800.
Yes.
Okay.
From 14 to 800. The dice were in your favor there.
So you're thinking 800 and 350? Is that what you're thinking?
I think. And that's what's giving him your book, right?
Yeah.
That way we can get you to be able to wield a non-light weapon, just up your damage a little bit. And it also allows us to give Chuck a nice kick-ass cooldown. He's gonna love that. Yeah. He's kind of gotten screwed on items lately. Like he also has those. I think
Screwed on items, my ass.
Well, he has like those cursed cufflinks, doesn't he?
Yeah, that raises maximum health by 10.
And then he's got those sun's glasses are bad for him because they try to. What if we sell the sun's glasses to him? How much would he give us for those?
Chuck's objects have plot armor currently. Also, Chuck's not with you guys. He's still being treated.
Right.
Yeah.
And once again, the glasses backfired because you used them in broad daylight.
And that time you used it in the sewer with Armax nearby.
Yes.
Deal with it.
Okay. I do agree. Let's go with 1 amulet and 1 charm. Because if nothing else, either me or Chuck could use the amulet. Although with him grappling all the time, he would probably get the most use out of it.
Oh, he would just roll around like an alligator.
Don't forget, he also has +1 armor and cannot drown.
What's that last part?
He's wearing the +1 mariner's armor.
Oh yeah, he's wearing that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus. He's just the Hulk.
He's
So if
very
we go- okay.
survivable, but he's risky.
If we go over
Right.
the 2 charms, that's what, 700? You said the 350 piece with the if you go into the book?
No, for one of them.
It was 300 then and the 700 for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, I mean, because I really only see the charms and the amulet as being useful right now.
I agree.
Well, I will say this: the splintering spearheads, he has multiple of them, and
We don't really have anyone that throws, though.
well, Chuck. Chuck also wouldn't give a rat's ass if it blew up in his face.
Tapes them to the end of his fists.
Wait, could he do that?
When affixed to a wooden shaft to complete a spear, are used to make a melee or range.
If nothing else, we would get 2 arrows, tape it to the arrow, and then tape the arrow to his fist.
Yeah, I mean, you could essentially, with little effort, you could do it.
And you say those things are reusable if we pick up the splinters.
Yes, when they explode, you can find a splinter of it afterwards, and it reforms.
Okay. How
And they're
about
$40 a piece.
okay? How about that? We get the charm, and the splinter arrowhead things.
All right, how many? He has 5.
How much are they a piece? 40.
They're 40 a piece.
So we're at 8.
That's 1,200, I think.
It's 1,200 with what else? Oh, the body blades.
Yeah, so the amulet being 800, 350 for the light charm, and then just one of the arrowheads. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if we get 5 of them, that's 200. That's 12, right? I'm losing my. I can't.
Okay, hold on. Tell me everything you're trying to get in order.
If we get if we definitely get the light charm.
All right, that's 1.
Okay, then the amulet puts us at 1,050.
All right, the
Right.
amulet is plus 800.
1150, okay. And then it would be 1,350 with all of the arrowheads, or do we just want 1?
So
If we can, is it specifically worded if we can find a splinter?
no, you will find a splinter.
Okay.
It essentially,
Yeah, 1.
the arrowhead splits into 1,000 of other arrowheads and shoots out in every direction. And finding one reforms that one.
What is the range on the explosion?
Anything within 5 feet of the target.
Oh shoot! So I could put it on the end of my chain scythe.
Yes, you could. That's going to be a hell of an attack. I'll tell you this: it's 3d6 piercing damage to all creatures in range.
Oh shoot!
Like, if you just put this on a stick and give it to Chuck to throw, that's still 3d6 at range.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find multiple. We like these shards are gonna get passed around.
Okay, hold on.
It's essentially like a grenade.
Can we find anything to help our max here?
Oh yes, I found something.
You got your.
Stares at Jim intently.
Okay. What if we don't get? Okay. I know the amulet is really nice. I'm just thinking about future, like, spending all our money on these things right now. But
Right.
what if we get all of the arrowheads, get the light charm, and just call it there?
And put a deposit on the amulet so it doesn't get sold?
Either on the amulet or yeah, the amulet. We put a deposit on the amulet.
Or how high does a deposit have to be?
Yeah, I mean, once again, I hate the son of a bitch who wants it, so 50 gold, I'll hold on to these for at least 3 months.
Wait, okay, 50 gold for deposit on the amulet. What about? And you said the ring was 450.
Yeah, the ring, I could go down to 450.
Okay,
Thought we decided we'd have no use for the ring.
I'm just thinking about that. That can't
Future-proofing.
Yeah, yeah. It's so tempting. I don't know. Oh no, we don't want to spend all our money. Okay, yeah, $50 deposit on or 50 gold deposit on the amulet, and then buy the light charm. So that puts it at 400.
I mean,
And then
if there was a way to use the cantrip as a bonus action, I'd be all for it. But as it stands, I think all of us have some pretty high, except for Chuck, have some pretty high dealing cantrips already. The big difference is that, at least for me, it deals more damage for me to use my actions for melee, not for a single cantrip.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is in the future I can actually use a cantrip as a bonus action with an attack.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's part of. Wait, it's on the singer. But I don't want that because I have better cantrips in my that I like anyway.
Okay.
But I think we should do the 350.
Yeah.
Put a deposit. That brings us to 4. If we get all of the arrowheads,
So 550.
so 600 gold.
Do we want to put a deposit down on the finesse charm?
What do you hold? Yeah, we can do that.
Of course. The charms I'm less worried about, to be quite honest.
Is
Then
it-
again, they are in high demand. I had 6 of these just a week ago.
All right, so we'll do a 50 deposit on that as well. And you said you hold them up to 3 months.
3 months, but if you come in regularly, I can ensure you're still alive. Basically, it's less that I don't sell it, and more you're still alive to collect on it.
I gotcha.
Cool. I like that. That's 650. And we walk out of here with the light charm, all the arrowheads, and
That's
future amulet or finesse.
Yeah. Okay.
We're in.
Alright,
What?
Alright. So you are getting these 5 splintering arrowheads.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I am putting these in chat so everyone has access to them. You are getting the weapon charm, light. And you're putting 2 deposits down on the what and what?
The finesse charm and the amulet.
I spelled it wrong, but I don't care. And then, is that everything?
As long as Aramax is really happy with that gem.
It's an amulet. It actually kind of looks like a very gauche brooch on a gold chain. It's the medieval equivalent of Flava Flav.
Oh, it so fits the bird too. I like it.
Basically. My friends, this is remarkable. I have never had a sale this good. For that, I am willing to open up a few other items if you are willing to look at them.
I'd say we're willing to look at them.
The
Yeah.
troll rod came as part of a set. I also have the helm of the troll and troll boots. The troll boots sounds like they would be good for your dumb friend. And he pulls out what's essentially 2 giant troll feet with like like where the femur would be sawn off. 2 wooden dowels jammed into it with a wooden platform, and then just a set of like Japanese like sandals tied to it. With these boots, you get a further walk. I know, strange to think. They also help you jump and climb.
That's cool.
And if anything tries to attract you, how the hell do you attract a troll? It's difficult. Very difficult.
Okay, what's this troll helm?
The troll of the helm is a stinking thing. It is actually the head of a troll. It covers your eyes and nose, and it's a still living troll head. It tends to whisper things. It's nothing coherent because it doesn't have a tongue, but it's a dark thing. But using it, you gain benefits of a troll. You gain dark vision up to 60 feet, and you have advantage to smell something. Right? Like a bloodhound.
Interesting.
Like I said, it is a weird set. Didn't really care for the man who sold it to me, but what do I care? And I still have these 2 arrows of teleportation.
Both arrows are one-time use only.
No, wait. Yes, I'm sorry.
And
They are one-time use.
If they're still here next time we visit, I'll probably give them more serious consideration, but given what we just spent...
Let's see. Yeah, 400 apiece is a little out of your price range.
I do, while we're here, I do have a question on one item that I possess. First, you need to know that it's not for sale. Second, I need to know that the area we are currently standing in has the ability to prevent magical auras from leaving this room.
Stoney, shut the door real quick. And you hear the stone finger slide into place, and the entire room is oddly quiet. This room is designed to be resistant to siege, to destruction, to teleportation, to anything I damn well please. There is 3 safer rooms in the entirety of Asiri, maybe 5 in the entirety of this world.
Okay. And then third, you need to know that for this item I'm about to pull out, I feel about as strongly with it as you do with almost all of the items you possess in this room. And if you should decide to, in your words, screw me over, I will probably die, but I assure you I will deal as much damage as possible before I do.
You now have my undivided attention, you very strange man.
And then I am going to reach into my bag and pull out and show him the ancient dragon scale.
Oh! Okay. Alright, sorry Armax, I gotta focus on this.
Do it.
How the hell do you have an ancient dragon scale and not have shown us that? What the fuck?
Oh no, it's far more... Nope. Wrong one.
That dragon scale has theme music.
So, okay. Bran pulls out a small, sort of 6x6 leaded box. And the second he opens it, the aura in the room ripples. You can actually just sort of feel that there's an odd tension. Armax, you immediately feel a sense of disdain. There is like a cold sort of hatred just sitting in the back of your heart that you have no idea where it came from or why it's there, but now you just feel it. Bran, you once again have to fight your urges to just slam the box shut again. Ynit, your gemstone, it again, as it has once before, begins to move in your pocket. Almost sort of shake. Woad, on the other hand, is looking upon this and just like, you brought a strange rock to me? I do not understand what this is. If this is a gem, you should take it to a jeweler. Here I come, put it on my table. I'll see what I can see. He sort of motions you over to his glass table once again.
Resisting the urge to mock him, I just quietly place the scale on the table.
Alright. He, as he has several times before, taps an arcane rune as he begins to lift it into the air and spin. And right when it should just flash green and tell him what it is, it instead encompasses in a bright, bright black light and then drops down to the glass. The fuck? What did... Okay, what is this? And he just does it again, just like, it begins to spin, but even less time. It just, one quick rotation, and then a black flash, and then it just drops to the ground. This... Wait, this is no rock. This is no stone. What is this?
It was a gift for a very challenging case that I had. And from what I can tell, and all of the research that I have been able to carefully gather, it is an ancient dragon scale.
Ancient dragon... Dragons are not made of crystal or stone. Well, I don't... Hold on. I have a book for this. Just give me a moment. He's gonna go into his like little back library that's behind him and just start pulling through it. Just what is dragon? Hold on. I need to have him make a check. That was wrong, but that tells me enough. Sorry, this is just kind of a thing that I gotta... Okay.
No, you can't touch it.
My friend, I would not touch this. In fact, I would not have this in my shop had I known. How in the hell do you have a dragon aspect? He just sort of slams the bookshelf. He's like, this... I have heard of these. I have killed men to learn of these things.
At that, I'm gonna go ahead and swipe it back into its box and close it and put it back.
Relax. I did not kill good men to learn of this. I did some adventuring in my youth. But I have only seen... This is extraordinary. I have only seen aspects of... I've only seen aspects of Goslow. Where in this divine earth did you find an aspect of Otzi?
Aspect of what?
You have his aspect, but you do not know his name.
I know very little about what I currently possess.
My friend, you may very well hold a keystone to the history of the realm. You hold in your hand there the aspect of the dragon Otzi, one of the first dragons. Even I know very little of the mythos behind these creatures, but that is powerful. It is far more powerful than anything in the city. That might be more powerful than most of the things in this realm. That is not just dangerous, that is lethal. That should not belong into the hands of mortals, that should belong into the hands of gods. And even then, I would not trust them with it. I hate to say this, my friend, but all I have given you is what I know now. And I have seen many a good man die just to know that. This, and he points to all of you, this is not just a secret that you must keep to yourselves. This is a secret that can get worlds destroyed. Do not take this handily, or I will wipe your memories clean. And trust me, you will not keep that if I do that.
I believe I have already made myself clear as to how much gravitas I hold regarding the item.
Child, you do not know in whom you stand before. You stand in my house. If I sought you dead, you would be dead.
I'm not saying I want to be dead, but you just warned me to take it seriously. Given
Yes.
the warning I gave you before I even showed it to you, I would think that at least would be clear.
I keep forgetting you're an idiot. It makes me want to take that from you even more. Look, here is what I will say. That is powerful. That should not be in open air. That should not. You should not even show that to me if you had sense. But thankfully, you could have picked far worse. That needs to be protected. If you had any sense, you would bury it in a mile's length of concrete and drop it in the ocean somewhere and kill every man who knew where it was and burn the city to the ground which the ship sailed from. But since you are going to keep it, and judging by the precautions you get for it, you at least understand some of its gravity. I will tell you this. There are few who know the true power of that. Immortality. Endless arcane energies. I have seen people even claim that that little aspect can make gods out of men. Myth and legend all, but I do not believe a single word of it because I believe it could be far more powerful. There are dark things that would love to see that buried forever, but there are darker things still that would love to see it brought to life. Do not lose it. Do not trade it. Do not let it leave your grasp. For if I ever get for a hint that you have carelessly left an aspect of Otzi, I will hunt you down myself, or hunt down all of your friends, and I will ensure to raise the earth in which you had walked in order to ensure that that is never, never squandered. But if you must take it somewhere, I can think of one place, and one place only, that would have the proper area to study, if not just outright destroy that. We had the Quartz Lyceum here. Do not trust it. But in the Emerald Glaives, the old Elven King brought with him his old arcane stores. No, damn bird. He brought with him knowledge of all of the realm, even far beyond what Tyrim even knows. And he created his own Lyceum. The Lyceum Arcanus Magnum. There is the Archmage. The Archmage. If there is anyone who can tell you more of that, it is him. He recently had some of his men collect all of the information that even we had on everything to do with those aspects and of the Alabaster ruins just north of here. They know something that we don't. And frankly, I would trust them more than anyone else. People have died for stuff like that. People will be killed to know of that. Am I making myself clear?
Perfectly.
Good. Put that thing away.
I already did.
No, you didn't. The felt got cut in the clasp. I can still feel it now. You gotta look. You look at it, and yeah, it caught just slightly. It's closed, but there's just a little gap.
Do you have something better that I can keep it in?
Currently, no. Just push the felt back in and close it.
Okay.
Right. And as soon as that happens, the energy in the room calms down. Armax, you're back to whatever you were doing, and Yanit, your gemstone is just inert again. Now, I feel as though we have accomplished much. And I would like you to get the hell out of my shop. Should you get some money again or some objects that you feel do not belong on the streets, come see me. Until then, please, go. Be safe. And for God's sake, don't screw up. He just waves at you, and the hands behind you once again open up. All the lights in the room just go black, and he just proceeds to shoo you out.
Hey, you should open that up in the public streets and see what happens.
Last warning, Bird. Last fucking warning.
If either of you speak to anyone aside from myself about what you just saw, I will kill you where you stand.
Did I tell Chuck?
You have to let me, like, look at it sometimes.
No, I do not.
Do.
You don't have to worry about me. I think your big rock's stupid. Stares at smaller rock.
Well, I think your small rock's stupid.
You can't even make up a good comeback.
I'm not very good at this yet, okay? I just had a guy call me an idiot, and I couldn't say anything back because I don't know how to respond without actually just stabbing things. It's not
Well,
how I was raised.
This is just constructive criticism. In practice, in due time, it doesn't come in a day. You didn't cut anybody's head off, so that's good.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Also, what the hell does this gem do?
As he's pushing out, he's like, I have no idea. As far as I know, it just casts light spells. Now please, it is dark. Go home.
I was talking to the gem.
And you all hear the gem say nothing.
I'm just gonna leave the shop now. I'm done talking to this guy.
Oh no, he
I walk
pushes
out.
you out of the shop.
We are in the streets.
Wait. We need a receipt for the deposit.
You'll get it in the morning. And he slams the bead curtains.
Did you know
A bead curtain.
he slammed a bead curtain?
Well,
You just had to show him the rock.
I'm glad I did. He may have insulted me for it, but he gave me more information than I've been able to find in the last few years that I've held it. Few insults for that much information. Totally worth it. And now at least he's... Yeah.
Yep, now we know. You have a magical shard of doom.
Well, let's go check on Chuck. And I guess, you said you wanted to cut out early, yeah? So I guess here's probably a good place to stop.
Just about.
One question: did anyone else notice my pocket pulling towards the stone?
I thought you were just happy to see me.
No, for real. Did anyone else notice, or was it just me?
It didn't necessarily get closer, as it just more shook.
But no one else noticed, just me.
Just you. Because as I presume, it's somewhere safe.
Oh yeah. It's in my fanny pack.
And even there, you felt it. Wait, that's taking up one of your 3 slots? Because remember, you can only have 3 things in that.
I know. I don't have much in there right now. Just that and something else.
Alright, okay, this is hella funny. It's Armax.
Yes.
In doing so, you now gain a 2nd level of sight. You now know what's exactly happening right above Unit, and you can hear everything around him. But you have to choose if you want to see or hear.
See?
Right. Your normal vision goes black, and you can now see around you knit in a 360 degrees. I also need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god, I can see in 3 dimensions!
Just not where you're going.
Yeah. Right. You're all just walking down the street back to your, I presume, your home or to some sort of tavern, and Armax just plainly walks into a light pole, just wham.
Armax?
I'm okay, except for the parts that are in horrible pain.
Constitution saving throw from you, Armax. Alright. Yep, you can still see through it if you want to.
What? I'm
If you-
going...
You
Let's
can
see,
choose
I'm-
to see or hear, but not both.
Here?
Okay. Your sight comes back to you, and you can hear everything around you knit. It's kind of... It's like bad stereo.
I can hear everything around your head, Unit.
Okay.
Magic Gem told me I could.
That sound was totally random.
Alright, so why don't we call it for the night?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds
Whew. Man, I'm glad I asked him about that thing.
I'm
Yeah.
legitimately surprised you did. I'm also surprised that, oh yeah, this guy actually has a pretty high intelligence.
Yeah, he didn't seem too happy about it, but I think that's what actually made me trust him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's like me going to the library and asking him what this Necronomicon book was.
Except it's like you going to the library, showing that you're actually a part of the FBI, and then somebody pulling a magical book, and the bookcase moves open, and you go into their secret library of forbidden tomes, and then you ask about the Necronomicon.
No,
Well-
you basically went up to this guy and said, hey, I found this box at a garage sale. Do you know what it's worth? And it's the fucking Ark of the Covenant.
Cool.
1, I have been in a secret library before. 2, we're Kentucky Colonels. 3... No, there isn't a 3.
I mean, I've been looking for information on this thing for a long time, so I don't really think I can accept any sort of personal blame for showing it to him.
I mean, granted, Granted, I have no idea what this thing does. Apparently, it makes gem rolls vibrate and causes Armax intense rage.
Well, I guess we have our next quest, though, to go find out what it is this thing does. Because if it does hold the key and grant great power, it could be what we need to murder Mr. Cold Lord.
Oh no, I know exactly what it does. It goes in that hole in the desert.
Yeah, but we're not just gonna put it in a hole. You gotta know what something does before you put it in a hole.
Well, first off, I have had great success just putting things in holes. That's how I lost all those diamonds.